What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
Oh boy.
And I'm Diggins.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woo!
You betcha, Nando.
Oh boy, oh my god. He said his name was DJ, but just like he said about the Dominion, he has committed slander on this podcast because he is Mike Lindell, of course, as we know, apparently. He is not DJ, because that is a perfect sound of Mike Lindell's voice. I can't believe it.
No, I just really love Free Guy, and I just really wanted to talk about it. So I kidnapped DJ, and now he's gone out on the podcast now.
You would like Free Guy, right? Because it's kind of
freedom.
like They Live, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, there's a conspiracy. The elites are holding on to all of our wealth and stuff. Yeah. It's got a very weirdly conspiratorial vibe to it.
Oh, geez, no, President Trump's calling. Oh, I gotta go, guys. Sorry, you two will be great on your own. I'll let DJ out of the black site. He'll be on any minute, guys. Thank you so much.
Well, that was fun. Diggins, how's your week been?
To that bit.
Yeah. Diggins, how are you doing this week? Well, and then DJ, once it's out of the black site, he can tell us how he's doing.
I'm doing just fine. I don't remember the rest of the lyrics to that song, so never mind the bit I was about to do. Just abandoning bit. This is the intro where we abandon every bit we start.
Yeah, mostly bit losing.
No, it's been a minute since we last recorded, and I have done a few things which I am going to talk about in a later segment of this podcast that we do every week.
Gotcha. Cool. DJ,
hey guys, I'm back.
Are you out of the black site?
Oh wow,
God.
yeah. No, I caught the last bit of that, and the reason that we haven't been able to record is because Mike Lindell captured me and threw me into a black site, so I wasn't available. And then he stole my phone, and it was like, yeah, guys, I'm ready. And then he came on the recording. Can you believe that he did that?
You'd think the black site would be comfortable, but his pillows suck, so it's probably not.
I wasn't able to...
You probably got really bad sleep.
I wasn't able to sleep. No, because I was in the black site. Even on my pillow was not able to give me good sleep. So,
Yeah.
But
that's fine.
But you know what's interesting about the black site? They just had Free Guy playing on loop over and over and over again. And I gotta say, even after watching it for the 219th time, I thought it was pretty good.
Is this a new form of torture? Like how sometimes...
Well, it didn't work, because I liked it.
Yeah. Maybe you got Stockholm Syndrome by Mike Lindell into liking this movie, you know?
Well, I guess we'll see. But I know all the details of this movie.
For people who don't know, Mike Lindell is a media... Google him, but then ignore him forever. So you know what the deal is with this bit. Watch the time when Jimmy Kimmel had him on the show, and then he also got the Mike Lindell impersonator on the show at the same time. That's pretty good.
I think we simply cannot allow DJ to just slip by without acknowledging the sentence he said where he says he remembers every detail of this movie.
It's true. Yeah, that'll be fun.
I watched it 219 times. How could I not?
That's
true. So we're
well,
definitely going to be throwing to DJ for every single detail, which he will obviously get right. Mm-hmm.
So stay awake, DJ. You have an excuse this time because you didn't get any sleep because the only thing you could sleep on was My Pillow, and those stink. But if you had a good pillow, then it would have been fine. But we're still going to hold you to that because you did say it.
Yep. I accept.
But this week we are talking about Free Guy.
Yeah.
Maybe DJ, that was torture because it was like, someday I'll be the free guy, freed from the black site, you know?
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. We're going to talk about Free Guy starring Ryan Reynolds, a movie that came out this year. One assumes. And was supposed to come out last year, but then it didn't.
One of the final movies that Disney is contractually obligated to release in a theater.
That's true.
Right?
That's
What's
true.
I feel like the Kingsman movie's one of them, probably two. Is that one was always getting pushed back, and then I can't even think of what else it could be. It's going to be great.
What else did Fox have cooking in the oven when they got bought?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they could just ignore it and then release it on Disney Plus and then complain to the actors. You know, like Disney isn't above that either. Maybe Scarlett Johansson should be a little nicer because Disney had to deal with the pandemic once. You know. Maybe she should be a little more appreciative, Disney would say.
Yeah, it's not like Disney's one of the most big companies in the world that it has all the money, right?
Yeah, and they closed all their theme parks during the thing.
Yeah, for a little bit.
Yeah, they keep them closed all the time because of safety.
And now they're charging for fast passes. Those
Jesus
monsters.
Christ! Wait, were fast passes were they free before?
They were, if
Yeah.
you stayed on a Disney hotel, they were free, yeah.
Oh, okay. But now you have to pay for them at the Disney hotel as well.
You pay for them anywhere. You don't have to stay at a Disney hotel, but you got to pay for them.
Oh, right. So then, what the heck is going on? What's Disney trying to do? Weed out the pores?
I guess that's their plan. It'll
'Cause,
probably
like,
work.
I don't know if I'd go to Disney World if I had the choice. Because I'd be like, I'm going to go, and I'm going to have a fun time. But then I'm just going to keep being like, oh, fuck, I should have paid $20 for and $100 for this toy and $200 for this toy.
You'll be sad and then if you do relent, you'll be sad you have no more money.
Yeah.
Because that's
and
the
I
end
won't
game.
be able to.
You have no more money.
I won't be able to go on that stupid cruise that isn't a cruise. You know?
Oh my
Star
God,
Wars
the
one,
Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
I feel
It's like
I feel like
$5,000 for 2 people or something like that.
this is true of any kind of resort type thing, but it's extra true of Disney, which really tries to squeeze every last dollar out of you. But it's so difficult for me now to think of any of that stuff as being worth it, knowing how much less money it is to just do your own vacation in like a cool place.
Oh, yeah.
Same. Like, I think there's part of me that would really enjoy seeing a Millennium Falcon in person and being like, that's a Millennium Falcon and stuff, and going to the Cantina bar and whatever. But man, if they didn't have that, it would seem, it's crazy. And then maybe that's their plan, just buy all the things and then be like, see, you wanted to see
now.
Yeah, you wanted to see the city from Free Guy. You wanted to see Free City in person, and you can only do it here. So come to Walt Disney World. You always wanted to see, what else could they put in there that they just bought? You always wanted to see the New Mutants in person. The hospital with all of the darkness.
I mean, it's the happiest place on Earth, guys. They
Yeah, so the New Mutants probably aren't allowed. Yeah. They for some reason still get to go to Universal. They figured a contract thing out there. I love Spider-Man contract things where it's like, it's allowed in this park but not in this park, and this one you could call it Spider-Man but this one you can't. It's just like the contracts for Spider-Man should be a different like contract law subgroup. Where it's like, what do you do? Contract law, Spider-Man specifically. So I can work out where Spider-Man can and can't be.
I went to law school for Spider-Man contract.
Yeah.
I have a friend in law school right now, and he is actually taking a Spider-Man contract law class. They teach whole like sub-strains of contract law about Spider-Man specifically.
Are you serious, or is this a bit?
Like, I feel like this is a bit, but it should be. Honestly, the same way it's like, oh, there's a class about The Simpsons and whatever. Like, that would be a really good class, just talking about every bit of weird Spider-Man contract law and how it was all negotiated and stuff.
No, I'm totally serious. I have a friend right now who's in a Spider-Man contract law class.
Don't believe you.
So hard to tell.
It's not called that, at least. It's not called Spider-Man contract law.
Well, I mean, the contract law would prohibit it. It would probably have to call, like, Arachnid Kid superhero contract law or something.
Yeah, the law school doesn't want to get sued.
Yeah, if anyone knows, it's them. That would be the first day of class. By the way, what are we calling this class? Because we just got a cease and desist from Sony and Marvel.
Then there's a class on that class.
Yeah.
There's a class on how to name your not Spider-Man contract class.
It's a disaster. And even within the Spider-Man comic books, the Spider-Man contract law is pretty, like, confusing. Different characters own the rights to Spider-Man's image in Spider-Man. Like, Kingpin, I think, for a while, owned all of the merchandising rights to Spider-Man. And that was, like, a funny thing, because he was just making money off of Spider-Man's back. But I want to say Iron Man owned it for a while, and then I think he gave it to Spider-Man. I don't know. That would be bad, though. You wouldn't want to give it back to Spider-Man. No. Then it's just like, you go to the patent office. Oh, some Peter Parker fellow owns all the Spider-Man patents. That seems suspicious.
He's a menace.
Yeah, he's a menace. He shouldn't be in Spider-Man patent court, whatever. Yeah. Oh, J. Jonah Jameson could teach that class or something. That would be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
And anyway, the trailer hasn't been released yet. It's going to be out later today, probably.
You'll probably be watching it by the time you listen to this.
Yeah, but
unless you don't care about the quality of the image, in which case you could be watching it right now.
It's very true.
True.
But if you do see it, and at one point in it, they all just sit down and discuss Spider-Man contract law, We're not making a joke about that because we didn't know that was in it yet. Because also the leaked trailer, which I have not seen because that would be wrong, has a lot of unfinished CGI in it, so it might not be the same trailer we're seeing tonight. So who the hell knows? I don't know. I know nothing. Speaking of people that know nothing, Free Guy knows nothing because he's in a simulation or whatever.
Yeah, and he's an NPC. What could he possibly know?
What could he know? Guys, we're going to talk about Free Guy.
Woo!
I'm excited because it's a different movie. It's not a movie about Spider-Man or any of those guys. It's its own thing. Don't worry, dear listener. Spider-Man and those guys managed to weasel their way in.
Oh, man.
There's no way it's not going to show up at all. But for the most part, there's no Aventursing in this movie until there is. You guys, DJ, you're in charge. You take the reins.
I'm so in charge. All right, we got what's the official name of this segment? Because
it's it's the IMDb B spelled like spelling bee.
Okay. All right. Time for the IMDb B spelled like spelling bee. Okay.
Very good.
That's the full name.
I believe that Diggins gets to decide whether to go first or defer.
It's true. Are you going to say anything about it, DJ, to like wet his whistle?
My whistle is bone dry right now, DJ. Are you going to fix this situation?
I don't want to say too much, but I'll tell you both. Like, don't overthink it. That's what I'll say.
Okay. I'm going to let Nando go first on this one because I don't know what I'm going to say yet.
That's a tough one. All right. Remind all of our listeners at home what we're doing, by the way, in case anyone doesn't know.
So for the movie Free Guy, we guess what the IMDb summary is on imdb.com. A website that every day goes by gets worse and worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's never getting better. It's only just like plummeting to the earth.
Much like the planet Earth.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point. Yeah.
This is a really sad and great point, but yes.
Okay, I think I got one for this.
Okay.
A bank teller guy realizes after an encounter with a mysterious stranger that everything in his world may be nothing but a video game and does stuff related to that. That's what I got.
Okay.
Cool.
Diggins.
Unassuming bank teller guy meets the girl of his dreams, but she shows him that his whole world is not quite what he thought it was.
Nando gets it. Woo! Like
I said video games, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I could tell as I was saying it that I should say video games, but my brain wouldn't let me.
If you said video game, I don't know what we would have done because you both got bank teller. So big ups to getting bank teller, and then Nando got video game. So here it is. And I don't even want to. Do you guys want to play the word game? There's like a bit. Okay.
I feel like there's a lot of ways this word game could go.
Okay, there's a big one. Nando went first. So Nando, you start.
I'm gonna say open world.
Okay, Diggins.
That's not it.
So it is in the summary, but it's not the one I was looking for. But open world is in there, so I guess you're winning so far. Like, good job.
Thank you.
NPC.
That's the one I was looking for.
Boom.
Yeah.
I'm still giving it to Nando. Sorry, Diggins.
So I imagine I feel like we pretty much got it then. It's like a bank teller guy discovers he's an NPC in an open world video game.
A bank teller discovers that he's actually an NPC inside a brutal open world video game.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's it.
Nice.
It.
Wow.
That's a pretty solid description for this movie.
Honestly, I think it's a very good summary. I really do.
Yeah. You know, when there's not any franchises or theme park rides to talk about instead, then they just have to describe the actual movie.
Yeah.
Taking place before the events of
Free Guy 2. Yeah. And before the events of Guy, bank teller in the city. Yeah. Yeah, all right, so I'll talk about Free Guy.
Yeah,
it's pretty good movie. I remember when I heard the pitch for this, You guys remember this? There were like news articles that were like, Ryan Reynolds is developing a movie about an NPC who discovers he's in a video game. And I was like, that sounds like fun. It sounds a little bit like some other movies, and it was like those movies, but it was still pretty good. And you know what? If this makes more kids watch The Truman Show, good for them. I think this movie was pretty funny. You know what, too? I told this to DJ on the stream briefly. I think this movie did about as good of a job as I can expect from a Hollywood movie at portraying a video game. Like, there were small things, like the way that whatever her name was... What was the main character's name when she was in the game? Molotov something?
Yeah, Molotov. Yeah, Molotov. They just called her Molotov.
Yeah, I keep wanting to say the name of the character for Venture Brothers, but it's definitely not that.
Oh, God.
But yeah, whatever her name was, the way she, like, had a gun and then didn't have that gun anymore and just pulled a rocket launcher over her shoulder, kind of like the way you would pick up different weapons in Grand Theft Auto out of your, like, inventory. Like, they got a lot of the small details right, and I enjoyed that. I liked Taika Waititi's performance because it was terrible, and it was written terribly, but I think he's smart enough that he got that, so he had fun with it. And I thought Ryan Reynolds was good. You know, he did his little Ryan Reynolds-y shtick, and it worked. I think the movie wanted to be a couple of different movies, and it was some like plot points I kind of liked more than others. But overall, I thought it was pretty fun. And I liked everybody in it. The main Molotov, she was good. The kid from Stranger Things was fine. All of them were good. The cop friend or security guard friend was fine.
Buddy.
Yeah. I liked it. It was an entertaining time. Also, I saw this movie at a drive-in movie theater, and that was the best. Huh. Yeah, everyone should go to those instead of movie theaters for obvious COVID reasons, if that's the thing you're worried about, but also just because it's better. You get to sit in your car and bring sushi and a box of donuts and eat those while you watch the movie. And my theater didn't even have food, so you couldn't have gotten your... Like, it's not like I smuggled them in. It was just like a nice treat. But yeah, I had a really good time with it in a drive-in as well. Although I think this would have been fun with an audience if they weren't awful, because like... There were some laughs that I would have liked to have with company. But overall, yeah, solid, good movie that I enjoyed, and I think it was pretty good. I wish it was on digital so that more people could see it, but I'm sure people will once it comes on Disney Plus or whatever. So, yeah, that's what I got. I'll give it like...
Awesome.
Yeah, we don't do ratings, but a B+ or something. Yeah. Diggins, what about you?
So... I walked out of the theater on this one having fairly enjoyed myself. It was pretty funny. It's pretty funny. I enjoyed Ryan Reynolds' guileless performance. I liked Taika Waititi's unhinged performance like Nando. He really goes all in on a character that I agree is written extremely badly, but... Him just going so hard on it really kind of saves it, I think. And yeah, no, it's just I had a good time watching it, and if we had recorded right after I watched it, like we originally planned, that's probably where my opinion would end. But I've had more time to sit with it now, and it's not a bad movie. It's fine. Like I said, I enjoyed the process of watching it. I think on a basic level it works, but it just is. To me, it feels less than the sum of its parts, where, Nando, you kind of hinted at this, where it's trying to do a few different things. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like, it mostly fails at doing most of those things, other than, like, having a basic story and being charming and funny, which is enough. Like, that already makes it, like, not bad. But everything else it tries to do, it's like Truman Show elements, most of its theming around like personhood and existential dread and all of that. I don't think it does any of that very well, mainly because it doesn't really commit to any of it. And the character of Guy himself is, for being the main character, is probably the most loosely sketched of anyone in the movie. Like, I don't really have a good sense of who he is or what he's capable of in most of the movie, thinking back on it. So I don't know. I think it's got a lot of problems, but on the whole, it is still funny and charming and a good, like, watch, which is more than I can say for a lot of the movies we do here. So I'm not saying it's bad. I just think it is okay.
DJ, what about you?
I love this movie. I loved it so much. I think it's because it was so unexpected. Well, I guess we'll get into spoilers at some point. But I just didn't expect all of the themes of the movie to be there. Like, in I think a cool way. And I think a lot of what the movie does is fun. I think all the actors are great. I agree, like, Taika Waititi, you need someone who's like, oh, this is a caricature. All right, I'm just going to be the, like, craziest person ever. Bro, did you get off my steez, bro? Like, yeah, he knows what he's doing. Ryan Reynolds was adorable. I just love this movie so much. I think it was because, like, it was always funny. You know what it was? Everything felt earned. Like, there are parts where it's like, oh my god, was that, like, Spider-Man? And, like, you get, like, not actually, but just, like, the idea of it, right? And are you gonna get, like, Ready Player One flashbacks? But everything they do here doesn't feel like tacked on or like a marketing ploy like Space Jam. It's like, oh, they have an IP and they're gonna use it in a fun way. And when it gets there, like, I didn't groan when a lot of that stuff showed up, because I think it was like a little bit of like self-awareness too. I just thought it was like really good. I really enjoyed it. I left the movie theater feeling very like fresh and good and free. And
you were the free guy. The movie was about freeing you.
It was. It freed me from worrying about my existentialism. But no, I thought it was a really good movie. So yeah, cool. I only have like great things to say about it.
All right. Well, we'll talk about the movie a little bit. But I will say, for most people, you'd probably enjoy watching this. And there are spoilery things in terms of, like, big picture plot stuff. So, like, you know, we wouldn't be super offended if you turned the podcast off here and waited.
I actually think I knew so little about this movie going into it, and that helped my experience. Like, I don't know about you guys. Like, did you guys know about all the things, like, going into it? Like, read any reviews or anything with that stuff in it?
I feel like there were some trailers that seemed to give it away more than others, and I'm pretty sure I saw them. Yeah. And I think by the time I kind of got there, I was like, all right, this can go maybe 3 ways, and went 2 of them. But then that was like, you know, those were the ways it could have gone. So,
I mean, personally, yeah, I don't feel like anything in the movie surprised me.
Yeah.
But I mean that there's like a good way and a bad way I can mean that. And I kind of mean that in the good way, where it's like they clearly set things up and then paid them off in a way that made sense. So I'm like, yeah, if you're like reasonably paying attention, you can kind of figure out where all this is going. But that's fine because it means that everything is justified and makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think too that when I say I was so surprised, I was like, I didn't expect the movie to be about this, like that kind of thing.
Right.
No.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
It mostly isn't about those things, as I said in my summation, but that's fine.
I mean, all right, fair enough. We can talk about it. We'll talk about it.
All right. Let's talk about this movie in terms of the 3 movies it is.
Yes.
The first one is The Truman Show.
We're doing full spoilers, right?
Yeah, full spoilers.
All right.
So there's a bit in the movie where one of the NPCs, where Guy, the main one that's Guy, goes to a coffee shop and orders a different coffee, and everybody looks at him, and like it's like almost like not like Westworld. What is it like? Because it's like Truman Show, but it's also like some other thing where like it's like the Matrix, where like the Matrix fights back against you when you try to mess around with it.
Sure.
And like it just knows to do that. So there were bits like that where it was very Truman Showy. Okay. And that was maybe the first like third of the movie, I would say.
Yeah.
It was just him being like, there's a Truman Show going on.
Yeah,
I like that the most. It is and it isn't. I guess it is until...
That would be the line in the Ready Player One version of this movie.
Yeah, right? It'd be like, yeah, it's a Truman Show. And then they go, what's that? And then one of the characters would say what it is in way too much detail. And then they would argue about shirts that they're wearing or something.
Ugh.
But so how do you guys think it did at Truman Showing?
I think it did well because I think it was good to see. It's like, oh yeah, like you're all NPCs. You have to do the things that you're pre-programmed for. And if you try, it's going to be like, no, what are you doing? And like I think kind of like planting the seeds for some of the later stuff. So yeah, I thought it did that stuff well.
I think it does sorry, you were going to say something?
No, go ahead, Diggins. Go ahead.
I think it does the like surface of it well, where you have that oddness of there is something deeper going on here that we are privy to, but that guy is not. That it draws a lot of comedy from, and I think a lot of that humor works really well. I love his not understanding what a skin is.
Yeah, that was funny.
I enjoyed those jokes. That section also goes on, actually. He doesn't know what's going on for a very long portion of the movie. Way longer than I would have expected.
Yeah, that's true. There's one point where the character seems like they're about to explain it to him. But there's so much coyness where they'll be like, what skin are you wearing? He's like, I don't know, my skin. And then you figure they would be like, no, what game skin? And then he'd be like, I don't know what that means. But they just go, okay, and then they move on, or they delete themselves from the game or whatever. But I guess with me, the Truman Show, there was a lot of Truman Showiness to it, but it stopped being what the movie was about like a third of the way through the movie, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it kind of shifts gears to something else.
Right. But I guess that's part of where I'm saying, like, it's good at the surface level of it, where it's like the real Truman Show thing is like kind of the existential crisis of like watching Jim Carrey kind of feel like he's becoming unhinged as the fakeness of his reality becomes more and more obvious to him, but he doesn't understand why.
Yeah.
And like Truman Show, there's a lot of things that are funny about it, and it's like an interesting watch. But like that's kind of the core of it, and you never really get that in this. Guy's only ever kind of like he kind of just brushes it all off very easily until he's literally directly told it 2/3 of the way to the movie.
Yeah,
like that's his thing, right? Is that like he's just like this positive, optimistic thing? I guess like the thing with Guy that's interesting as a character is that his thing is. He's just supposed to be this like NPC, but then there's this like slow awakening into a more complex being, and like I'll give it Diggins. Like I don't think the movie was made to explore those things of like what is like AI ethics and existentialism and like what does it mean to just like be nice, but like. I think it's interesting just how they kind of play it throughout the movie.
I guess with Matt, I agree. I agree with both of you. I think to what DJ was saying, I think my question with the movie is like, there's a point where he's like, I'm an AI. And they kind of says that to the main character. And the main characters all find out around the same time. And then he's like, I'm an AI? Wow, that's weird. And nobody in the movie is like, no, you're not. Or, like, you're not alive and you're not conscious. Pretty much everybody buys into that, either through the sense of, like, well, you have a consciousness to some extent. Or all the characters in the movie are like, well, he is conscious. I just don't want him to be, so I'm going to try to kill him. But, like, I guess the movie, by not grapple... Like, there's no alternative presented once we find out he is conscious, especially because we, as the main character, like as the viewers, see everything through his perspective. We all kind of know that he is, but like there's no counterpoint presented to the idea of consciousness. Whereas in Truman Show, you have all the characters like that are talking about controlling him and stuff, and they're kind of like he doesn't exist, like he exists, but they're like his life is just part of our TV show. It's fine and it's great, and he should be happy with that. Like, I guess with Free Guy and Truman Show, in Free Guy, the question of, like, wanting something more comes up a little bit, and then it's kind of dropped. And that's what Truman Show is all about. And that's, like, the conflict that drives the second and third acts of Truman Show, once he's figured out there's something quite amiss. But speaking of Truman Show, and we consider Truman Show, it is also very They Live-y. Because there are glasses, and if you put them on, you see the truth in all the billboards and whatever.
Bank robberies.
Yep, and there's bank robberies, and there's a friend who he's like, put the glasses on, and the friend's like, no. And that's interesting. I thought they were going to do that scene. Did you think so?
I thought maybe. You mean the 15-minute long alley fight scene?
Yeah, some version of that. Or even like Free Guy would be like, what do I have to do? Fight you to put these on? And he'd be like, no, you don't have to do that. I'm just not going to put them on. Or something like that. Because the movie's kind of cute about all that stuff. But yeah, I was expecting that. Because the characters do have that conversation. And his friend's just like, but I don't want to do what they live. And Ryan Reynolds is like, oh, okay. And then he goes and moves on. But okay, second movie this movie is. Anybody want to take a guess at the other movie this movie could kind of be?
Are you going to say Ready Player One?
No, you almost had it, though, for a second. A little bit. I mean, it's got Ready Player One-iness to it in terms of, like, it's about video games. And this is fucking so much better at being a movie about video games than Ready Player One.
Oh,
you know? Oh, my God. Never has a movie been... Like, they're polar opposites in terms of, like... This movie feels like a video game. Yeah. And, like, it had references. What kind of references did you guys pick up on in the backgrounds and stuff?
Obviously, because I saw the movie 219 times, I got all of them.
Well, name a couple of them then, DJ.
Molotov is an homage to the Molotov cocktail, an explosive made out of liquor and a rag.
Yes. Okay. So what I'm talking about, while that is true and definitely a classic video game reference, because those were invented in the video game. They were invented in the video game Gungeon and then adapted to Russian extremists way earlier than that. But I was going to say...
it was actually the Finnish who invented Molotov cocktails during the Winter War against Russia.
Oh, wow. Right. That makes more sense, yeah.
How about that?
But, okay, so I'm talking about things in the background, DJ. References, you know. Like in Ready Player One.
Right.
Throw me some of those. Which ones did you recognize?
Obviously, the classic, It's-a me, Mario.
Yeah. Yep. When Ezio's cousin shows up from Assassin's Creed 2 in this one as well. Yeah. Says his classic line. Love that. How about you, Diggins? Did you recognize any references to video games in this movie?
I mean, besides the super obvious, one of the super obvious ones at the end of the movie, in the final action scene, because there's a couple in that are very obvious, but
and that one you're talking about shows up earlier as her getaway, but it's not the same thing.
She has a portal gun that isn't quite the portal gun from Portal, but kind of is. It has the same colors and everything. It's like resemble but legally distinct.
Yes, which is interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I could name you any specific ones besides that and a couple of the other ones from that fight. There's very much like... It gave me vibes of a lot of similar open world games like your Crackdowns or your Saints Rows.
Your Fortnites, I'm assuming. Your GTAs.
Well, Fortnite is one of the explicit references that happened later.
Yeah, the dances, it was littered with
dances. That too.
Well, not even just the dances. He uses a Fortnite-like thing in the fight against the final boss.
Yeah, that's right, he does. I'm thinking more like the way the characters dress. I feel like I don't know too much about Fortnite, but I do know they all have like weird, funky outfits, which is true of Saints Row as well. But like Molotov felt like a character you show up in Fortnite.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess I'm thinking more stuff like, okay, so you remember how there was a Metal Gear in the movie?
There was a
Metal Gear.
And like walk by him at one point. It was a Ray, but it was like it like when he was getting coffee. I want to say the first time you see like a Metal Gear, just chicken walking around.
Are you sure?
God, I totally missed that.
I'm not 1,000,000% positive, but I think so.
I saw it 219 times. I didn't see Metal Gear.
There's also a Metal Gear, I'm pretty sure, like, again, a Ray, not a Rex, in whatchamacallit, in Ready Player One, in, like, the big fight scene.
Well, that makes sense.
Well, I mean, I've scrubbed all memory of the Ready Player One movie from my brain, so.
Fair. It's fucking Chucky, remember that? That movie's awful. Although, I do think this movie had a terrible F-bomb. Like,
I agree.
Did not fit.
I agree.
Yeah. But how about the Scorpion tank from Halo was driving around a lot? Did you recognize that, DJ? You play Halo.
No, I did not recognize that.
What happened
in
in
any
the first...
of your 219 movies?
Yeah.
I'm not convinced these things were there, guys. Are we sure?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there were so many Scorpion tanks. How about like, so I don't know how much you could say the bit in the like building when he starts fighting the cops for the first time is like a Super Mario reference, but he is like using jumping powers to scale a building made of beams. So that felt kind of Super Mario-y.
Actually,
like Donkey Kong.
If you recall, Nando, he was using the like sneakers to do a jump up power. That is a classic Space Jam reference.
Oh yeah,
New Legacy.
That's
where you
true.
Get the jump power up. So that's
or a
actually what
Flubber reference, kind of.
Or,
you know,
yeah,
much like Flubber. But yeah, I don't know. There was stuff like that.
Imagine if Warner Brothers made this movie. It would have been awful.
Yeah,
it would have just been Batman Arkham Asylum stuff everywhere.
Yeah, I would hate it if there was a bunch of tacky references to other properties in this movie.
yeah.
But like, none of them were ads. Everything Warner Brothers would have done would have been an ad.
None of them were ads, DJ.
99% of them were an ad.
I feel like there was one of them. So there were 3 of them. 2 were kind of the same thing, but the first one felt good. I liked that. Second and third one did not like.
Okay.
They felt like too much. They felt like a little much. But the first one, I was like, oh, that's like a cute little reference. I get it. Like, not like a reference, but like we hung around on that one just long enough for me to not get sick of it.
I dislike. This is an ending thing, so maybe this is early to be talking about this. But since when
now
do
we're
we
full
do
spoilers, right?
Yeah, we're full
whatever.
spoilers.
We're full spoilers, whatever.
We never do an order that makes sense or is logical.
Yeah.
I really disliked the so in the big final fight against the final buff man who is also Ryan Reynolds. We're referencing how he pulls out Captain America's shield, the Marvel like Avengers Sting comes up, then he punches him with a Hulk fist, and he takes out a lightsaber. He has a Fortnite pick or whatever. He's got the gravity gun from Half-Life, blah blah blah, all things like that. And I really disliked all of that stuff because not just because it's tacky, although it was, but specifically because one of the things that the movie is trying to do is being like Taika Waititi's character is bad because all he cares about is franchising and money and mining properties for cash. And the main characters are good because they want to do like artistic stuff, original ideas, and you know, things that they want to do because they think they're cool and not because they're sequels that will give you lots of money. And then they have a bunch of references to franchises with like heroic stings and everyone being like, oh, it's the Thing I recognize. Hooray! And it's like, wow, you're really undercutting your point here, huh?
I totally agree. I think with the Captain America shield, it bugged me a little bit less because, like I said, I think it was short enough that it was just like, oh yeah, Captain America shield. And there's also part of me that just likes the Avengers theme being a theme that we all recognize, kind of. Like, I think that's fun. Because people used to shut down for it. However, I think the lightsaber was way too much. And that one bugged me because at points characters all like marveled at it. Like, oh my god, the Star Wars property, we love it so much. Like, like it was a little much. Like the Captain America one, everybody was like, whoa, cool that he did that. But it wasn't like, oh my god, he's got the best shield that there ever was, the Captain America shield.
Not everyone thought it was cool, Nando.
And that was fun too. That was the other part of it that I enjoyed enough.
That was so fun.
It almost kind of brought me around on it. However, the Fortnite one really pissed me off. Because what is Fortnite in this universe? We're playing the Fortnite. You can't have the clone of the game and the real game. Or is this like GTA? I don't know. It's like this felt like a parody of Fortnite. It could just be
another game. It's just bigger than Fortnite. But I get your point.
Like,
why is it there then?
Yeah, it's like we have the parody in the universe. I like the gravity gun. I like the portal gun. Like, I agree though. That felt like something that should have been in Ready Player One. Like, and I would have liked that in Ready Player One, honestly, if at certain points he was just whipping through all the guns from games, because, like, that's what that character valued. But I agree, it was, like, antithetical to the point of the movie. I was
sorry, go ahead.
I was expecting, because I did hear that there was some sort of like Avenge or something in the game. I almost kind of expected Taika Waititi would just summon Thanos like they had in Fortnite, and just Thanos would fight him at the end.
Twerking.
Yeah, so they didn't do that.
I thought you were going to say that you thought Taika Waititi would just turn into Korg.
Yeah. No, I did. For a second, I thought that too, because I was like, oh, yeah, he hasn't played the game yet. Like, we haven't had him enter the game to try to fight Ryan Reynolds, so that makes sense. And then it's like, oh, what's he going to show up as? So maybe it's not Korg, but it's like a rock man. And then he was Korg in that trailer they made for this with Deadpool. So, like, you know, I don't know. It didn't seem crazy to me that they might do that, but they did not do that, which is, you know, good, probably. But what were you going to say, DJ?
I want to get your guys' take on something, because I have kind of a hot take. So, Taika Waititi's character is, Dwayne? Is his name?
No, it's...
Antoine.
Well, Antoine. Yeah, it's such a name.
Antoine. I don't know why I thought it was Dwayne.
Another detail you've somehow missed in your 219 watches, DJ.
Which was
that name of the character,
the name of the main character.
Oh,
in the movie.
Right. It's just like white noise at some point. It's like just slot machines at a casino, so you don't hear him at some point. You just see the characters like, oh, he's Taika to me. That's who he is.
Sure.
So Antoine. God.
It really is white noise to you. You can't even hear it. You're getting like flashbacks now from that time you were imprisoned by Mike Lindell.
The My Pillow really destroyed me. So
you just having nightmares about how uncomfortable the pillows were in your black site.
They're just shredded up. Like it's not even good. A big piece of memory foam. It's just shredded up piece of memory foam.
That's the problem.
Buy cheap memory foam. Put it in a garbage bag. Boom. Anyway,
there's no base.
Yeah, your base.
So Antoine says to the stranger Keys, like, hey, it's cool that your game had AI developed in it, but if it weren't for me, your game would be in a dumpster somewhere because you didn't know numbers. I know numbers. I know marketing. I know popularity. Now, he is a dick while he's making this point. He's a dick in general. But I thought it was kind of a good point. That, does Guy happen? Because the only way Guy gets, quote-unquote, unlocked into his, AI state is by seeing Molotov. And if their game is just the little fucking indie darling where people just watch shit that's going on, it never happens.
Well, he only made Guy... Well, he made Guy Molotov, didn't he make him love her after the game was already Fortnite or whatever?
But then even that point, if the game never becomes Fortnite, then he doesn't, make that thing, right?
Yeah, I don't quite understand the game that they made, and we'll talk about that eventually. But, there was a point also where Antoine comes in and he's like a big jackass, and I'm like, okay. But then he goes to Steve from the Stranger Things and is like, hey, Steve, you sure you don't want to get promoted because you're good enough? And he's like, no, I don't want to. And he's like, okay. And then he leaves, and I'm like, oh, that's nice of him. But then he is the bad guy. And then he becomes bad later. he becomes very bad.
Yeah, it goes 0 to 100 real quick. I like his outfit. It was very silly.
I love the point you made earlier, Nando, that at no point does he question that the AI have become real consciousnesses with identities. He's just like, I don't care. I just want to murder him.
Yeah, he's like, he is bad for business, and he is business villain. So speaking of business villain, let's talk about one of the other movies this movie is. It's Lego Movie, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of Lego Movie in this movie about a nice guy who just goes through the world and is average and then becomes super important, and also the villain's a businessman.
And then he meets a girl who's really good at lots of stuff, and he's like, I'm interested in her, and then suddenly becomes better than her at all the stuff she's good at somehow.
Yep. Yeah, and he what was I gonna say? Oh, and the villain wants to delete the whole fucking city with bullshit, and
So, Free Guy is ready. Lego Truman Show.
So I think there's another movie in there, or I think that there's so I can't quite figure out which movie this is, because I thought it was something for a second, but I'm like, nah, it's not really what it is. It's not Wreck-It Ralph, because it's not quite what Wreck-It Ralph is. However, it does have that, like, what if a nice guy showed up in the video game? What movies do that, you know? I feel like that's been done.
What if the nice guy showed up?
Where it's like, what if instead of killing everybody, one guy was nice? And wouldn't he become very popular?
I don't know. Is that like an overused trope?
It's not an overused trope, but I really feel like it feels like something from a different movie or game. Or not game, but movie or show, where there is a point, and I just can't remember what it is, but this movie feels like that. I just can't remember what movie or game it is. Or show or whatever.
You know, Nando, I feel like the idea of him being the good guy who saves people is actually kind of underdeveloped in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if only they could get famous streamers to talk about how they think differently about NPCs now because of him. I think that would convince me that this is a real theme in the movie.
That was bad. That was very bad.
That was the worst.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about, like, Pokimane and Jacksepticeye and Ninja and all them showing up in that movie is if they did, like, one montage of people being like, wow, blue shirt guy, he's a big deal, and you included a few streamers in that, I'd be like, ugh, but whatever. But they keep coming back over and over again.
Dude, I wasn't ready for the knife in my heart of Alex Trebek.
Oh,
I
my
started
God.
to cry.
Loved it. It's so funny. Like, as a last performance of Alex Trebek to be like along with in the streamer montage. What the heck was that? And in this week of Jeopardy turmoil that we live in, just to remind us of how Alex Trebek used to throw in current events in his Jeopardy. We all know now, because we all had to learn about the inner workings of Jeopardy, that would have been an episode that aired months after Free Guy happened in the world, you know? No one would still be talking about him. We all would have known it. But, yeah, Alex Trebek, oh boy. He was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just made me sad.
I would have preferred Mike Richardson or whatever the heck his name is, you know?
We got to put a shutdown on giving jobs to the guys named Mike Richards.
We gotta until we figure this out, you know? Who is this free guy? And do you have any tattoos, miss? I'm Mike Richards. This is Jeopardy. That would have been how it would have been with Mike Richards.
Oh my God.
Anyway, the streamers were terrible. I can't remember. I really feel like there's a movie that this feels like, and I can't figure out what it is. But
where there's like a nice guy, this guy decides to be nice, and he's like, I'm gonna be a happy man who does happy things.
Yeah, no, if it's something that you could also see in a movie like Shrek, maybe, or like Megamind, where maybe it's Megamind. It could be that, but it's that like, what if instead of being a supervillain, the supervillain decided to clean things up, and everybody's like, who's this guy that's cleaning things up? He's the hot new thing.
Is it Incredibles, kind of?
How so?
Well, because like Syndrome's like, he's faking it though. He's like, I'm the new superhero.
This would be like a plot point in a movie about, like, it would be something that would have to be the big, like, there would be news coverage of it, like you have in this movie, where all the characters talk about how it's changing the world in a big way, whereas Syndrome, happens and then it's over. But either way, the third one is that for me. And I did
the fourth one, you mean?
Or the fourth one. Yeah, I mean, the end fight does get very Ready Player One-y.
Which, like, it's fine. I also kind of like the thing with, I don't know, like cute moments, like when Guy is running, or when Buddy's running with Guy as, like, the bridge is collapsing, and, like, Buddy doesn't make it. There's, like, the cops in the real world, like, that security guard gave his life, like, that was funny.
Yeah, wasn't it fun how those security guards then saved the day at the end? You know, because they had a change of heart.
I really thought that was going to happen. I was waiting for it to happen.
So weird that they didn't. But
now,
I guess they were transfixed on this free guy thing.
You can actually see Millie is sneaking into the server room while they're doing that. So it does have an effect on the climax.
Okay. There you go. This movie was great. What else?
What
Okay, so
did
Ryan Reynolds.
you guys think of Channing Tatum?
Oh, yeah, and
I
who
actually
else was
kinda
in
love
this
that.
movie? Another weird little cameo.
Was there another cameo?
I think so. This one I haven't seen confirmed because I haven't looked, but I'm betting he was in there. Was a guy that Channing Tatum was... Like, there was a guy that was just a voice at one point that I don't think was Channing Tatum.
Oh, yeah. No. I know who you mean now.
Yeah.
Do you want me to just tell you?
Yeah, you just say it.
So the mysterious man who she initially gets her lead from where to find the video from is voiced by Hugh Jackman.
Oh,
Right,
Get Out,
yeah.
really?
Good friend of,
Yeah.
what's his name? Of Ryan Reynolds.
He's doing an American accent, and it's through a voice filter, so it's very hard to tell, but that is Hugh Jackman.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
So that was fun.
That is fun.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Do you think... so I'm going to paint an alternate scenario for you based on the events that are depicted in the movie, and you tell me which one is more realistic.
Okay.
So first I'm going to describe what happens in the movie, and then I'll describe the alternate scenario.
Okay.
Okay, so what happens in the movie is that Millie and Guy get to know each other more, and they share all the same interests, and he's actually very sweet, and she grows to care about him and like him, and they do a big kiss, and but by the end of the movie, Guy's like, I'm an AI and you're a person, and even though I haven't learned anything about this, I think that's bad for you now. But instead, think about the fact that I was made by another person who maybe just put all of their feelings that they didn't express to you about in me, and then maybe him? Maybe?
Yeah?
And so she realizes that her partner who made this game with her has secretly loved her the whole time and programmed that into a video game character that he made. And so she runs to catch him getting coffee, and they kiss in the middle of the street. Now, I posit that instead, perhaps, she should have been like, wow, this is incredibly creepy, filed a restraining order, and then downloaded Guy into a sex bot.
And then it's her.
And continued to
And
kiss
then it's
Guy,
a fifth
who
movie. It's
she
her.
likes. It's her. Yeah, the movie Her.
Yeah, it could have been her. Yeah.
But
But
him.
reverse Her. Yeah, reverse him. The sequel to Her. Him.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Now, I don't know. I don't know about you guys, how you felt about... how you think that the woman character should have felt about the idea that her male partner, who she'd been friends with for years, just... in their video game for public consumption by millions of random strangers, he programmed in a man whose sole purpose in life was to fall in love with her specifically, and like knew with a lot of very specific details about who she is. I don't know. I think that's kind of weird.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I don't know, it's your thing, right? Oh, is that bad of me to say? That, like,
I mean,
I don't think it's the worst thing ever.
it's a little weird.
it's
It's
fine.
like, I feel like we got enough. I don't, like...
It feels
think-
like one of those things where it's like, if I read about it, I would read about it in like Kotaku later, where it's like developer-based video game character on all the details of his ex-girlfriend, but it's not even ex-girlfriend. It's just like a girl he was obsessed with for a while.
Yeah.
And like, if I was the girl, I'd be like, that's weird and creepy.
All right, fair.
Also, like, I feel like we'd see a movie like this where we actually saw their relationship a little more, and it was like, oh, she does like him. She's just... Because, like, I feel like we got a lot of, like Hallmark movies where the girl is just too into business or whatever. She can't see that the love of her life is right in front of her or whatever.
Right.
But instead of doing any of the beginning stuff, we just skipped right to the end. And, like, the love of her life is right in front of her because he made the robot computer do it. And then you see... but, yeah, I mean... Also, I mean, maybe she just thinks Ryan Reynolds is hot, too. Like, I feel like it's not necessarily a stretch, but I could see her being like, listen, what you did was really nice, but also, you didn't make that guy look like you. You made it look like Ryan Reynolds, and now I'm like, I kind of want that. So, I'm not...
I mean,
several...
More than one person, including her, throughout the movie, explicitly comments on how hot they think Ryan Reynolds is. Which I have to imagine was in his contract.
Yeah, I hope so,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's so funny.
I feel like one of the things with this movie is like, yes, there are those like weird, like quote unquote like problematic things, like, oh, it's like it can be considered creepy. Oh, the male protagonist overtakes the woman in like skill level and stuff like that.
I mean, but, also like literally in a very literal sense, the female character exists to catalyze the development of the male character.
That's true. All right, but also it's like a fun, earnest movie that I think takes some swings and deserves, you know, the rewards, like in terms of like enjoyment levels. And I don't know, man.
I said at the beginning, I don't think this is a bad movie. I think it's a perfectly all right movie. I enjoyed watching it. I had fun. I laughed. I think on a core level of like telling a story where the characters like develop and like things happen, it succeeds on a level where I have complained that many movies that we watched do not.
I mean, yeah, that is
so
true.
Like I don't think it's a bad movie, but I'm gonna point these out because that's the point of our podcast.
It's crazy. I had like nothing bad to say about this movie. I'm just like, I think it's really good. I had fun time.
Remember when Guy is getting shot all the time and then waking up in bed and stuff? Is that what his life?
Oh, this is also Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true.
Kinda.
Yeah, or any of those. Any like Groundhog Day. You know what? It's kind of Groundhog Day actually. Even more so because it's like he, you know, does things to the world and like goes through normal day, but then sometimes he does karate, and no, not really that in Groundhog Day. But like, yeah, it is like that.
It do be like that sometimes.
What other movies are there like that?
Yeah, right. It's just like every
Happy Death Day.
This movie is, oh my god, this movie is every movie.
Yeah, that's great. All movies should do that. Just be all the movies.
You know the song "I'm Every Woman"? It's like that, but with movies.
Yeah. Speaking of songs, for some reason, this movie was really heavy on this one Madonna song. Is there a reason for that?
Wait, don't you mean not Madonna?
Or was it not Madonna?
Mariah.
No, thank you.
Oh, Mariah. Oh, okay.
I'm surprised you didn't remember, DJ, since you recall every single detail of this movie.
They never say that Mariah Carey is the person who does the song.
Oh, they do, actually. They say it out loud with their human mouths.
Wow.
They do say something.
Wow.
They do. Yeah, it's true. It would be really weird if this, like, 20-year-old was a real big Madonna fan. Although, I don't know. She's not like other video game designers, so who the hell knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. She's cool.
And she loves bubblegum ice cream and swings.
Yeah. Bubblegum ice cream does suck. She's right. Like, she's right to hate it. Or she's right that it is bad.
But she likes it.
No, I know. She's I guess, wrong to like it, but it is nice that she understands that no one likes it but her.
Yeah, like she gets that, oh my god, no one likes it.
Yeah, she's shocked that guy would even think about eating bubblegum ice cream. It's the worst one. Yeah. Okay, what else is interesting in this movie?
What do you guys think of Buddy? Just like in general.
Who's that?
Buddy? The cop.
Lil Ray.
The gay cop friend?
Lil Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was fine. He really touched Ryan Reynolds for a while. Hot Ryan Reynolds, like big buff guy Ryan Reynolds, so much that I was like, oh, are we about to say something? But no.
He got deep in those pecs.
Yeah.
Did you guys think he was supposed to be the friend who he like teams up with, who Keys teams up with when they're like the cops?
Wait, which one is Keys?
Keys is Steve from Stranger Things.
Okay. Dude, I think he was the cop.
Buddy his friend who betrays him, but then betrays Antoine. You know who I'm talking about?
Oh, the other programmer kid?
Yeah, was that supposed to be Buddy? Because Guy was Keys, and right.
I don't think so, because they're all based on characters that Millie and Keys made in their game, and he didn't know Mouser back then.
Well, no, isn't Guy Keys? Like, Guy is him. He is Guy.
Yeah, because Keys knew himself when he made the first video game.
Oh, he knew himself.
He didn't know
Many
Mouser.
video game developers know themselves during the course of their game development. As long as they don't do it at work, it's a good thing. Because
remember, Keys didn't make Free City. He was not involved in the creation of Free City.
Right. I just thought it was interesting that guy had a buddy named Buddy, and I'm like, oh, that's his best friend from, like, whatever. But, all right, fair enough. He just made a character named Buddy.
Right. I do want to ask, what is the relationship between Buddy and Guy?
They're best friends.
Nothing
But
else?
could they be something more?
I think they could be something more.
Do you think there's something more?
I don't know.
Is this the first Disney gay character?
The first openly LGBTQ character in Disney history?
Yes,
It's possible.
I think they could. I mean, it's definitely right up there with all the other ones in terms of, like, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But, yeah, he, like, saw Ryan Reynolds and he was like, oh, my God, with the shirt off, this guy looks so great. And, yeah, his pecs are, you know, bigger and buffer. But, like, I don't know, man. He was really into those pecs. Like, way more than Peggy Carter was when she touched Steve's pecs that one time. Mm-hmm. And to be fair, they're weird pecs. It's a weird shape of that Ryan Reynolds. That buff yoke David Thewlis or whatever we call him of a character.
David Thewlis.
Oh, what about yoke David Thewlis in this movie?
It was fine. I thought it was cute.
I thought it was cute as well.
I liked that it was like a very this is what video game character or video game designers think people want next. It's like they're like, oh, we like Guy, and it's like we'll put a big old big old muscles on him and weird haircut and a shirt tattooed on his pack. That was cute.
I like how the CGI was able to be bad because it's like, oh, he's not finished. It's like they
That's
save
true.
some money there.
Yeah.
So this is very silly, but so I really thought the humor of this movie like won me over like a big way. Like I just like a lot of parts I really 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 enjoyed. But one of the things like specifically, so I went with Michelle and actually a couple of friends. I went with a group of people and we all enjoyed it. Maybe that's why, because I went with just all my friends, all my cool friends. We all loved
of
it.
them.
And
Every single
I saw it
friend
with
that
also
you actually
enjoyed
like.
it. Like,
But I saw it with like several people who enjoyed it. Right? That's
right.
the
And
difference.
DJ is easily swayed by the opinions of others, as we've seen on the
That's
show.
so true.
Many a time.
I am easily swayed by the opinions of others. So
like you were just now, a second ago, when I told you were and you agreed.
That's definitely the bit.
Yeah. Were there never a better use case?
So, I think what was the name? Dude was like,
Dude, yeah.
I came here to do 3 things: kick ass, TBD, third thing here. And that line like broke Michelle. Like it broke her. Like she was laughing like 5 minutes after that line was over. And I'm like, why? And why was that so funny? And she's like, because that's what I do all the time when I make wireframes. And I feel like this movie, like at least with those like little cute inside developer-y jokes in there, that's like, oh, like there'll be a certain 2% of the audience that's gonna get this joke, but they're gonna fucking love it. I don't know.
I feel like with that joke, I wanted them to be the same thing,
Like I came here to do 3 things: kick ass, TBD, TBD. No,
Yes.
I think it's funnier that it's the third thing was put third thing here.
But then why wouldn't that be what TBD is? Why do they have 2 different placeholders?
Because I think that's like developer speak.
But wouldn't the developer just put them both as TDB? Or thing 1 or thing 2?
It depends on the developer.
I guess. I feel like if it was multiple developers, I guess that would make sense. But I feel like one developer would have like a thing, Temp 1, Temp 2, or whatever.
You know what?
I don't know.
This is true. I'm very easily swayed. You're right, Nando.
Yeah,
the line
that's a
sucks.
good
It
point.
makes no sense.
I almost wish the line was
but
more
DJ,
of that.
I think the line is fine.
Oh no!
Despite
despite
the logical questions, I think the cadence of just it being 2 different things just works better for the flow of the joke.
All right, I actually I agree. The line's perfect and brilliant.
Maybe I would have liked it if it was like, I'm here to do 3 things. What was the beginning of the line? Was a setup?
I came here to do 3 things.
Came here to do
Kick-ass.
3 things. Yeah, I came here to do 3 things. First thing, second thing, and then big pause and third thing, and I'm all out of first thing and second thing, or something like that. I don't know. I like when they really like. I don't know. I guess it's just I feel like I've heard jokes like that before, so I want the biggest, stupidest one. I also feel like, did they have him misspell things?
I think so. I remember that being like a through line.
If that was a joke, I would have liked that most. If it was like, yeah, something like that.
Well, he was a big idiot, right?
Right. And like they wouldn't have spell checked the code or something, So there would be lots of misspellings in it. Because he was made by Antoine. Right?
Yeah. And all the developers, because they're like, we're all about to get fired.
Yeah.
By the way, I realized that this is another movie it's Scott Pilgrim because dude is Nega Scott.
Right.
So it's also Scott Pilgrim.
Kind of. I mean, Scott Pilgrim's
it's
also a movie about video games that, like, gets what video games are.
Chris Evans is in it.
Yeah, people drop coins when they explode and stuff. Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like another, like, reference. Not like a reference, but, like, it was fun that, like, oh, it's like a cool avatar in the game, and then it's like a 7-year-old girl or, like, a big nerd, like, actually playing the character.
Yeah, I like the first one where the kid kept saying, like, smoke his ass.
Smoke that. That would have been a good for their one F-bomb instead of the good fucking morning, Goldie.
Yeah, all right, let's talk about that F-bomb. Yeah.
Yeah, like, what are you doing? Kill that motherfucker. Like, that would have been a great use of the F-bomb.
That would have been so funny. That would have been even worse, but I would have loved it. It would have gone up there with, like, Scott Cyclops being like, fucking kill you. Maybe he should have shown up and said that at some point if we want to do crossover nonsense.
Scott Cyclops or Bruce Batman?
Bruce Batman. Yeah, Scott Cyclops, a.k.a. Ready Player One. Ready Player One could have come and have been like, I'll fucking kill you for stealing my movie and doing it even better than mine. That would
he have come as Cyclops, or would he have come as Ready Player One?
Yeah, would have come as Ty Sheridan, an actor in another thing, you would assume.
But then if we used our F-bomb there, then the guy wouldn't be able to say it in the middle of his routine of saying hi to Goldie for no reason.
Yeah, so weird. So, like, in that moment, too, he's, like, finding out that the world is better, right? Or is that when he's making the world better, or just, like, is exploiting the fact that he knows it's a video game that no one else knows is a video game?
I think it's he's doing good.
Yeah.
Then why does he say fucking? He's being nice.
I don't know, Nando.
Yeah, it's weird, right? There's also one part of the movie, I forget what it was, with Antoine, where he said something and I was like, oh, this was the F-bomb. You should have had this. Like, I forget what it... Like, I feel like someone says something to Antoine, and then they're like, but what about all the people playing their game? And I wanted Antoine, like, to really lean in and go, fuck them. And then leave, like, that would have been pretty funny.
Hey, fuck them kids.
I have a
everybody
question.
Playing the game. I'm an asshole.
You put one F-bomb in your movie.
Yeah. That should be the law, by the way.
And
every movie needs to have one, no matter who it's for. Doesn't matter. They all need one.
You put one in your movie, it's
Paw
PG-13.
Patrol gets an F-bomb.
Yeah.
You put 2 in your movie. You're automatically rated R if everything else is the same.
Yes.
No. Well.
Controversy.
Oh, DJ, who will you believe? I'm pretty sure it's like a lot of it depends on what you're saying, how you're saying it. I think, like, probably rule of thumb, it will make you very likely to be R, but I don't think it's. I think it depends on if you're saying fuck, if you mean to have sex, or if you mean, like, or if you're just saying the word fuck as, like, someone got shot by Santa Claus and he said, fuck, I hate you, everybody, fuck.
Christmas Chronicles. Oh, Santa fucking shot me.
Yeah.
Oh my god, third Christmas Chronicles, he turns heel.
Yeah.
Belschnigel's the hero.
Oh, that would be pretty good. I mean, in Get Shorty or Get whatever, one of those movies, Big Shorty, Big Trouble. What did they call that one? The sequel to Get Shorty?
I have no idea.
Get Shorty again.
Yeah, they made a sequel to Get Shorty like 20 years later or something. And that's where they had that conversation where someone's like, you know how they say you can only say fuck in a movie once, otherwise it's R? Well, fuck that. And then that one is PG-13. So, like, I feel like you can...
Oh, okay.
There's wiggle room depending on how you use your fuck. But I imagine most people just go, like, we're not going to rock the horse. So, whatever. One fuck for us, please.
We can't let the MPAA, like, jump down our throat.
Yeah.
I don't think I could rock a horse if I tried.
I mean, yeah. It would be worth a shot. Especially if it was, like, a horse... I don't know. Said fuck all the time. How do you guys think they came up with that fuck, by the way? Do you think that was in the script? Do you think Ryan Reynolds came up with that on the day?
Ooh, maybe
because his Deadpool just couldn't stop.
Yeah, maybe they didn't write any in, and they're like, Ryan, you get one. Just use it wherever you think makes sense.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that's in the script. Good fucking morning. There's no way.
It's a terrible F-bomb. One of the worst. I think this movie would be great for kids were it not for that weird little F-bomb.
When it happened, I was like, oh, this movie must be rated R because they wouldn't use their one F-bomb on that line. That wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I was like convinced. I'm like, oh, it's R. And then I'm like, no, this is PG-13. They just, it's at that point, don't use it, right? You don't have to, so then don't. Yeah.
I mean, you should. It should be the law, but you don't have to. Yeah. It will be my law. Matt's law. You have to say fucking all the movies. Fuck, it's Carnage. Fuck, there's no time to die. It has to also come with the name of the movie. Fuck the Dune. It's gotta be. That, if you don't put it in your movie, that's the title now.
Fuck Shang-Chi.
Yeah. That's what, like, Perlmutter would say. I'm sure that's what he's saying right now.
Fuck Shang-Chi.
It's like,
fuck Black
they're
Widow, fuck
non-white,
Shang-Chi.
they better be a man.
Who's this Aquafina?
Oh,
that's
man.
a water.
That is a water. To be fair, he's right. It is a water. It's not a great water, but it's fine. What do we think of the movie?
It's great.
Yeah, what do we think of the effects and stuff? There were lots of effects. It looked very expensive, and I think it worked.
Look expensive.
I think all the expensiveness. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I don't think they made their money back.
I mean, I don't know what you would do as a movie theater or a movie company these days. Do you just go like, we're gonna lose money on the movie, but let's put it out because people are tired of it? Like, we got to do something.
Well, like I said, they're contractually obligated to release this in a theater.
Yeah, I mean, if I was a movie company and I saw America right now, I'd be like, let's get the movies out before this turns worse. Like, let's put all of the movies we could possibly have out in this next couple of weeks before COVID-18, or not COVID-18. I meant COVID-18 in terms of like COVID wave 18, but not the prequel to COVID. We're not hopefully going to get that. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't, yeah.
I mean, I don't think we'll get the prequel. I think...
I watched... I mean,
we might get the squeakquel.
Yeah, we'll probably get the squeakquel. COVID, let there be carnage.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's going to be that fucking Michael Bay movie.
Or the COVID. I don't know what they would do with the sequel to this. I feel like
COVIDs.
I was watching Bill Maher yesterday. Speaking of Bill Maher, because I watch him every time.
Why? He sucks.
Because he sucks, and I love it. I gotta see what he's saying. I gotta see what the word on the street is from the Bill Maher. The people who are 60 but want to think they're 25. Like,
I've done
that's
a lot
an
of
important
hate
demo.
watching and hate reading in my life, so I can't judge Nando for this.
I do love it. And he had a whole conversation with a guy from the government who knew what he was talking about. And Bill Maher's like, I didn't want to get the vaccine, but I got it. Okay. But I don't want to get this booster. So America's in a lot of trouble. If that's what Bill Maher's saying on TV to people, we're not going to see that James Bond movie anytime soon.
I did not put Bill Maher in the fucking anti-vaxxer camp. Wow.
Oh, he doesn't believe germs are real. He's got a lot of things that he doesn't talk about because he knows they're kind of weird. Ugh. But every so often they squeak out. Anyway, yeah. Remember that one point in Free Guy, speaking, let's bring it back, where people are watching Free Guy in the world and one person's wearing a mask? Remember that?
Yeah.
It's like a shot of like, a subway or something. People like watching it on like a big TV. And one of them is wearing a mask. And I'm like, are you the first person to wear a mask? Or has everyone stopped wearing masks in this timeline? Or are you in just a country where people wear masks usually? And it's probably that, but
yeah, it might just be. I think that might be when it's in like Japan.
Yeah,
that's been a very normal thing there for a very long time.
Here's a question: would you guys play Free City if it came out? I think we'd play it.
No,
yeah,
it
right?
looks pretty boring.
Yeah. As much as I like the robbing Ryan Reynolds bit, you just go in and say, I want to rob Ryan Reynolds, and then he gives you his money and you leave. The NPCs should be fighting back, otherwise what's the point?
Yeah, it seems like the only things that fight you are other players. So yeah, first of all, it's like an MMO, which is not my bag.
Fair.
What's funny is the reason the NPCs don't fight back is because they're built on a game that is, let's talk about the other game.
Yeah, let's talk about, is there a name for it?
I can't remember it. It might
of
be
course you can't. You've only seen it a bazillion times. Yeah. Diggins, do you remember it from the one time you saw it?
Oh gosh. I know what they call it at the end, but it has a different name before that. At the end, they call it Free Life.
No, yeah, it's called like Life, like, oh god, it's called
Life
like
Paradise Life.
Yeah, it's something like that, like Living Life or Real Life or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. It's called Free Life.
At the end.
At the end, yeah. So, would you guys play that? The one where
No.
we all walk around?
Life itself. Life itself. Is
Okay.
Free Life is weird. Free Life, you walk around with dinosaurs and stuff.
That's true.
So, the pitch for the Life Itself game and Free Life, as they eventually release it, seems to be that you just pop in as an observer with no ability to affect the world and just watch the characters interact and like grow and change. And I think that's interesting with a sufficiently advanced like AI system, which they apparently, these two like college students did make an incredibly advanced AI system, far more advanced than any the world has ever seen before, where the AI is capable of becoming conscious and self-aware.
That's exactly right.
So yeah, I mean, with that premise, absolutely. I mean, that sounds fascinating to watch a bunch of AIs interact with each other.
Yeah, it's pretty much the Truman Show. They made the real Truman Show.
I think it does have a potential to be kind of like a big indie thing that a lot of people think is very interesting. I cannot remotely imagine it being commercially successful.
Yeah.
And that's why Antoine's the hero of our movie. He allowed for Free Guy to gain consciousness.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that Free City is only going to be successful, or Free Life's only going to be successful because it has Guy in it, the guy that is all the rage on Jeopardy and stuff.
And on Pokimane Stream.
And Pokimane, yeah. So, how many did you I only recognized Ninja, and I wasn't positive, but I had a feeling that was him. And then I knew there was a girl named Pokimane, or a woman or whatever. I don't know. But so I kind of figured that was probably her. I'd have never seen any of those people before.
Dan
besides
TDM.
them.
Dan TDM's a fairly popular streamer.
Yeah, nothing.
Did not recognize any of them on site except for Ninja because he has blue hair.
Yeah.
However, you can actually see their names are displayed on screen because it's like a Twitch screen. So I saw the names Pokimane and Jacksepticeye, and I was like, I've heard those names.
Yeah.
Do you guys, like, were you surprised that there were no VTubers in there? Because VTubers are all the rage.
I would have
kind of know what that is, but what is that?
Oh, Diggins, would you like to explain?
VTube? Okay, VTubers.
He's already upset.
I hate VTubers. I hate looking at them. I hate everything about them. I cannot stand
Are they like
VTubers.
furries? Is that what it is?
No. I mean, some
okay.
of them are, but it's not the point. VTubers are basically, you rig up a 3D model, a fairly basic 3D model, that and then you put on like a basic haptic thing so that its face and basic body movements will mimic you, and then it is basically, instead of having a camera on yourself while you stream or whatever, you have this little 3D model like being you, quote unquote. And a lot of people like get really like make characters that are not supposed to represent them but are like their own like thing that they're doing. It started as a Japanese phenomenon of people who really wanted anonymity but still wanted to have like streaming like stuff.
Can I take a wild guess about something?
Yeah,
they're mostly sexy anime girls now or something?
Yeah. How'd you know?
Okay. Yeah. That sounds like that makes sense. It sounds like how
the internet ruined it, as they do.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people like them. A lot of people are into it. A lot of people prefer doing that to having their own face on stream, which I understand. And I'm not trying to yuck anybody's yums, but I have a visceral reaction to seeing a VTuber of like utter disgust. I hate them.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like something I would hate as well.
Yes,
So
you would.
I'm gonna throw my hat in with hate.
I love VTubers. VTubers out there, if you're listening, I love you. You're all great. Keep doing your thing.
DJ, did you not hear me and DJ say they're weird? We don't like them?
DJ, did you not hear yourself say that?
Did DJ gain sentience? Oh my god. Real quick, load up DJ's skill tree, or his like conversation tree.
Oh my god, it's Westworlding.
Yeah, that was the one thing that Hannah was saying. We were kind of brainstorming things for the homunculus to say, and one of hers was just have him say like if-then statements a bunch. Just like while he's beating up Free Guy, just be like, if fight, then yell or something. But yeah. I love this movie.
Oh, good.
I had a thought. Oh, what if they remade this movie, but we got real streamers that we like Donkey to be like, what's this game? This is
That would
stupid.
have been so great.
That would be fun.
Yeah,
And like Will Smith to be like, this game's cool. This hot. Love it. I'm a streamer.
And Snoop Dogg to say a bunch of things that you can't hear because he still hasn't realized he's muted.
What was up with that? How long was that going on for?
So good.
As far as I know, it's not resolved yet.
I think he
are
did
you
find out
serious?
after 3 days. That's what I heard.
Yeah, I think after 3 days. I'm surprised they managed to get Ninja to agree to be in the movie, considering that women would be in it.
I was waiting for PewDiePie, but I don't know if he's still even going.
I think
that's the only
Jake
other one
Paul. What about
I think
Jake Paul?
PewDiePie is too controversial now. I don't think that he can get the big movie contracts.
I know. Yeah. What about that one streamer that everyone just got mad that he bought a house on Twitter? I don't know who that is either, but I think his name is like Hassan something or whatever. Yeah, that guy. He seems like he's not as popular as the rest of them since I know who he is, but seems pretty cool because he bought a house and everyone got mad at him.
It's a weird thing to get mad at someone for.
Well, he's like
Everyone buys a house.
He's like a Democrat, so it's like, you're gonna buy a house, but you also want homeless people to live in houses? What a contradiction, you know. People don't get it.
What movie would you guys agree to be in? What would our cameo in a movie be?
It'd be in Tusk, right? That's a movie about podcasters. See that? I don't know. What would it be?
I'd be an extra in here's that movie coming up where Matt Damon defends his honor against Kylo Ren, or his wife's honor against Kylo Ren.
Oh, yeah, where they all have weird haircuts?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like an extra. I'd be like the guy who hands him his sword and be like, make sure to mostly pick your opponent apart with your axe.
I want to be in a movie. Here's what I want to do. When Bill Maher eventually makes his movie about how no one loves him and he's canceled and stuff, and he makes it on Ben Shapiro's stupid network because they're friends. I want to be at home listening to Bill Maher's heroic statement or whatever, and just go like I usually do when I'm watching it on my phone as a joke. Go like, "Ha, good one, Bill," and that's me. I want that role. It's yeah, I feel like that'll happen. What about you, Diggins? What movie do you want to be like a random extra in?
I wanna have eventually something like a Mayor Roger Ebert in Godzilla, where something I've criticized or said I don't like made someone angry enough that they put a version of me. Or if you pay me, I'll just do it. I'll just be there for you to humiliate myself before you. I don't care. To just be like the fat ugly guy who shows up and is like, everything sucks and I'm stupid, and then like a raptor bites my head off or something.
You hear that, producers of Loki season 2 ending from season 1? Diggins is here if you want to have Kang cut his head off.
If you're willing to pay me money, I will absolutely show up to be humiliated in Loki season 2. I don't care.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
You'll be like one of the TVA guys who you're like, yes, Mr. Kang, and then Kang's like, silence! He just murders you.
I'll run in late to a meeting with Kang, like, I'm sorry, I'm late, guys. I was busy filling my pants up with poop because I don't know how to use a toilet because of how dumb I am. I don't give a shit. Write that line for me. I'll say it. As long as I get to cash the check after.
Oh, it'd be such a nice check too. It'd probably give you really strong checks that you can't even rip up, because then they're like, too bad you already have the check. It's indestructible. You're in this movie. Your likeness belongs to us forever.
You probably get 5 years salary just for a small cameo, because they have so much money they don't know what to do with. That's why they're charging for fast passes now.
You never know when your character's going to get a spin-off in something if it takes off, you know?
That's true.
Yeah. That guy who told Spider-Man to do a flip that one time, that can't act in that Quibi movie, he's apparently Shang-Chi, so yeah, whatever. They take all kinds.
You get royalties for that stuff for forever, and if it's not a big role, the royalty checks aren't that big, but you keep getting them.
You know what I'll do? Here's what I'll do. This is my dream role.
Okay.
I want to be the body that they eventually deep fake Bruce Willis's face onto. In a commercial for detergent or something. I will pretend to be Bruce Willis, and I'll even make that stupid face he makes. And then you guys can lazily... I'm not even lazily. You guys are probably doing a great job. But you could take, like, the 2 images he sends you or whatever and then just deep fake Bruce Willis onto my face. That'd be terrific.
The CGI people are working much, much harder than, they could reasonably be expected to, given their level of compensation.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, yeah. I mean...
It's Bruce Willis who's not putting in the work.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. I hope one of those people... I hope there's a point where Bruce Willis is, just signing this shit away and we can get some Bruce Willis deepfake,
Oh, yes.
It's just have Bruce Willis run into a movie or into a room with Kang and be like, I poop my pants. Hey, look at that, Kang. I'm a cool guy. I'm old and I don't try hard anymore. And then Kang cuts his head off or whatever. Yeah,
we can make him a VTuber.
Oh my God! Yeah, Bruce Willis the VTuber. Oh my God!
I'm playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I'm being Deadpool for this one. I think this is really great how this is going.
Yeah, that would be so much fun.
Do you guys want me to play as Captain America next? That'd be a fun matchup, I think. He wouldn't even get that into it.
Yeah,
like I'm done playing.
That'd be great. And then you could have a whole Among Us or something where everyone's Bruce Willis VTuber. They're all climbing around in the little vents. I guess only one of them can do that, but that's how you know that one's the real Bruce Willis.
Up to 3 of them can do that.
Oh yeah, that's true. You can have lots of imposters. Yeah.
Hey, remember when they're working on an Among Us sequel, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, an Among Us sequel!" And it's like we don't care anymore.
And now they're putting Among Us in all the other games too, Fortnite has Among Us now or something.
I don't know why that surprised anyone, considering Fortnite was already a different game, and then they just decided to steal PUBG.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Remember my prediction would be this is the year that Fortnite dies?
Yeah, I do remember that.
The year's not over.
Yeah, there's plenty of time.
So, my prediction was people will get sick of Marvel and egg on my fucking face.
What was my prediction?
Yeah, what was yours? I'd have to find the tweet Roger made, but hold on. Give me a second while I pull
my
up
prediction was
Twitters.
sick, whatever it was. I mean, it had to be something that was going to die, right? Like it was this is the year that blank finally dies.
That was one of the predictions we made, and that's the one DJ and I are referencing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'll figure it out. I'll give me a second. I just gotta go back in the Wayback Machine.
Yeah. I can't remember what it was, but I bet it was great. Anyway, the rest of this movie. Anything else good? It was interesting how Ryan Reynolds became Superman. So, Ryan Reynolds both was nice and did missions in a nice way, but also became the ultimate murder machine. You can't figure it'd be one or the other,
Yeah, right?
But
yeah.
He just murdered the wrong people, or the people that you're not expected to murder. So yeah.
I also love how his competence varies wildly from scene to scene.
Yeah,
it's he's just regular NPC guy who doesn't know anything, and then with no training or leveling it up or all, he can gun kata with a bunch of player characters, and
that was sick.
And do elaborate hand-to-hand fighting moves where he disarms all his opponents. It's why is he suddenly good at this? And then sometimes he's not.
Yeah, you'd figure for this movie to be the way that it is, the way that would play out is he would be very nice and he would solve problems the way Villager solves problems or something, just dropping houses on people and stuff and digging up potted plants, and it's he's doing the pacifist route of the game, but he's still able to beat us. But that way he still doesn't understand the fighting mechanics. But yeah, he would show up on a motorcycle and fucking have 2 Glocks in his pocket. I'm pretty sure that guy isn't the nice guy anymore. I think he's something else. I think he's the Punisher. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't deserve a Jeopardy spot.
As far as he's concerned, this is real life, and the people he is killing are dead permanently.
I think that's true. I didn't even think about that. He really is a sicko. What's wrong with this one? Can you imagine if that happened in Truman Show? Just Truman whipped out a couple of pistols and just started shooting everybody. That would be what we get now.
It's not real anyway.
Yeah. I will say this movie was funny. I loved the bit with Channing Tatum. I thought that was very funny.
I
thought it went a little long, but the idea of it really was cute that he was a celebrity in this game. Yeah, I did enjoy that. I didn't need to see him do all his dances, but he's a stripper, so whatever. He's good at dancing.
Nando said that 2021 would be the end of the Snyderverse, and that I don't know. The Snyder Cut came out, and people fucking loved it.
I don't know about that. I mean, we'll see. If the David Ayer cut comes out, then I'll egg on my face. But I think the Snyderverse is largely dead. I don't think that doesn't even really sound that extreme of a take, honestly.
We've got several months to announce the next Zack Snyder movie in the DCEU. So
oh my god, can you imagine?
Guys, I'm sorry, since I'm already here, can I go over our other predictions? Because I've gotten every single one wrong.
Yeah, I mean, we're halfway through the year plus a month or so. So, yeah, it's a good time to review the predictions. In the middle of the Free Guy episode. Real quick, we all like Free Guy, right? That was pretty good.
Loved it. All right.
Oh, real quick, before I forget, and then we'll be done.
We can go back to Free Guy. I don't know.
Oh, okay. One joke that I liked was the joke about the guns. That was a very funny joke. Where, you know which one I'm talking about?
Is that a Glock in your pocket?
No, I didn't. That joke was dumb. No, when they're like, he's giving the speech to all the NPCs, and he's like, in the real world, there aren't lots of bank robberies, and there aren't lots of this, and they don't even have lots of guns. And she's like, actually, we do. It's a big problem. That was pretty funny. Anyway, go on, DJ. What are our predictions?
That was good.
That was my big joke of the movie, the one that really, really hit for me. I thought was solid.
All right, so here I gotta favorite this tweet so I can pull it up easily. All right, so what dies? I had Fortnite, Diggins had Marvel, Nando had the Snyderverse. Biggest bomb of 2021. I said the Snyder Cut. It's not going to be that.
Hard to say, but
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's hard to judge.
Yeah.
Diggins said Ghostbusters.
We'll see.
And then he provided the nuclear take, not his real take, of Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's a nuclear take, but we'll see.
And then Nando said Morbius, which doesn't come until 2022. So,
as if that one comes out this year at all, yeah.
And James Bond was the nuclear take.
Yeah, and I don't know if that one's coming out this year either. It's still slated for October. But
blank will surprise everyone for being blank. I said The Winds of Winter would be released. It's not going to be released. Diggins said movies will surprise everyone for being back.
I'm kind of right.
No, you're not. You're not. They're doing awful. They're not back. They've never been less back.
They're back in terms of like they're technically in existence.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. If the James Bond movie gets released, they're back. If it doesn't, they're still not back yet. That's my bellwether.
Movies will surprise everyone for being barely hanging on. Then maybe.
Yeah.
And then Nando's was Venom 2 will surprise everyone for being good.
Oh, we might. I don't know about that. Okay, about that one.
I don't know.
I'm willing to ride that one out. What else we got?
2021 will be the year of. I said Disney. Like maybe.
I mean, which year isn't?
Yeah, right. Diggins said outside trying new things.
Sure. We'll see about that one too.
We still got time.
And Nando said martial arts.
I think I'm spot on with that one. Right. Like they keep making those movies. None of them are any good, but we got the Snake Eyes movie. We had Mortal Kombat. That was cool. I liked it. Shang-Chi is getting good reviews.
It's getting really good early.
I'm hanging with that one, and then we'll see about the Matrix movie that we still don't have a trailer for yet. Feel good about it. I will say, thank you so much, Roger. We never remember what these are.
Yeah,
Thank God you tweeted this. Do we have any others, or is that it?
The last one, the winner of 2021.
Oh, God.
So I said the Lord of the Rings show, which who knows when we're getting that.
I think they're making it. I feel like they've done a lot of work and announced cast. Just nobody cares until we see pictures.
We're not getting it this year, though.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I think Amazon wants it to come out this year because it will drive monies to them.
Well, no, the release date. No, they said it was like September of 22.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah. So I'm like, all my predictions were like the most wrong. Diggins said Dune.
Yeah, DJ, please read the tweet correctly.
Dune.
No, incorrect.
Oh, it's Dune.
Wow.
Is that it?
Dune.
Nice. So that one is TBD. It might actually win the year.
and then Nando said Invincible, which I don't think it won.
I don't think it won the year. Yeah, I mean, maybe it came out and was good, but it didn't win the year.
I mean, it's hard to say what won the year, but I think Invincible.
Well, I think there are already things that beat Invincible that quote unquote won the year.
Like what?
Right?
I don't think anything has like that kind of spotless A+. Wow, that nailed it record.
White Lotus, apparently.
Fuck
apparently, White Lotus
How
is
about
like
that?
amazing.
That's a hot take. No, White
What?
Lotus. No,
Apparently, White Lotus is amazing.
I don't know much
Everyone
about
tells me it's amazing.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things.
People have been wrong about things before. All right.
Well, but like the whole season 1 came out, and it was like, this is an A+
like you
show
were
that's a
about this
must-watch.
prediction.
What's better than White Lotus? I mean, like, White Lotus is not better than Invincible.
Well,
But-
I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I haven't heard the universal
Anyway,
praise
we're not talking about
White Lotus
better.
they did for Invincible.
We're not talking about better.
Yeah.
We're talking about more win the year, more captured the cultural zeitgeist. And
my God.
I don't think it's arguable that the White Lotus has captured the cultural zeitgeist more than Invincible did.
You think it has captured more than Invincible?
Yeah, I see way more people talk about White Lotus than I ever saw talk about Invincible.
You're
I
out
might
of your
watch
mind.
White Lotus
If
to learn that.
you accept the one meme, which I don't think counts.
I mean, we have no White Lotus memes, and we're all done with
That's
it.
true. We got one Invincible meme and 0 White Lotus memes.
I mean, we can probably do a Google search, right? Google Trends. Let's see.
Gosh. He won't let this one go.
I think I'm right. I do. I think time will tell.
Nando
I think
can't handle being wrong.
I absolutely not. I think White Lotus
All right.
will be a flash in the pan, much like, Emily and Paris, where we all go like, this was fun COVID, entertainment, and then it's gone.
Or
All right,
Invincible.
ready? At Invincible's peak, it was 100. 100 what?
I think
Interests
it's-
over time.
I think it's out of 100. Like, it's always that.
Yeah, so it was 100 in
But you can compare it to stuff.
March 28th to how do you compare?
You add another thing.
Oh, compare. Here we go. White Lotus. Oh man, shattered it. Shattered it.
Like, it has a higher peak, but it's not going to have as much of a it's going to have a drop off.
DJ,
know.
can you drop this in the chat?
It's
Yeah,
hard.
man.
I don't even know how to read this.
I mean, okay, the red line is White Lotus, and the blue line is Invincible.
Look at the average. Invincible's average 15. White Lotus's average 7. Now, White Lotus has not been out for that long.
Came out.
Yeah, but I think White Lotus is over. Have either of you watched White Lotus?
No, I need to
No,
because
I've been
apparently
meaning
it's
to.
great.
Oh
Here,
my
I'll give you some-
goodness! Look at this.
Here, I'm
Wait,
gonna put-
no, TJ, that's not the same one I have.
Yeah, White Lotus.
Versus Invincible.
Yeah, I'm gonna put another one. I'm gonna put in Ted Lasso. Something else I think won the year more than Invincible.
Ted
I mean, Ted Lasso was a last year thing.
No, the
Has season two.
Yeah, it just started,
season-
but
yeah,
I don't know about that.
yeah. Ted Lasso even more than White Lotus over average. So
I don't know. How did you get Invincible to this number?
Can
you show the top part where you typed the word Invincible but you misspelled it or something?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you guys are hearing the denial in real time.
I know
mean,
it's.
I have a
crazy. You
different
can't-
graph. This is my graph, and I'll show you what.
Are you
This is
using
great.
Invincible
This is-
like the word Invincible? Because DJ is doing specifically the animated series.
Is that why?
I'm doing the word Invincible, but it's got a big spike where the time of the show is. Like, it's like
Well, that makes sense.
it's when the show came out. It's pretty it's
But
right.
yeah, the average over time of the word Invincible, yeah, it's gonna be huge.
Yeah, because that's a regular word that people use.
But what you did White Lotus animated. Why didn't you do White Lotus TV series?
Okay, it's not there. And how many people
Oh,
are Googling White Lotus? Like, come on.
It's a kind of flower.
I Oh my god.
there is a big spike when when Invincible comes out for Invincible.
This is a nightmare. This is just
Because when people search the word Invincible, they just search the word Invincible. They don't search Invincible TV show.
All right. Well, there's no White Lotus TV show. There's White Lotus topic. Is it a topic? I'll do the topic of White Lotus.
It's probably closer to a topic, but just look at the one I put in. My graph, I think, is a much more accurate representation. I think they're closer to being even on my graph. Like White Lotus is still technically higher than on my graph, but your graph is nonsense. It's a trash graph as far as I'm concerned.
Wow. You are. This is.
gentle listeners, please weigh in if you think Invincible won the year. Like, we're not talking about is Invincible
So
good.
far.
We're not
So
talking
far.
about like, did you enjoy Invincible? DJ and I are saying nothing about that. We're just saying we don't think Invincible won the year. If you
now.
You want a nuclear take? I think you should leave Won the Year more than Invincible.
You haven't even finished that. I'm willing to give that I don't think Invincible won the year either. However, I think saying White Lotus has more cultural like relevance than Invincible is not a far and away like for sure. Mostly, I think it's because White Lotus just ended. I think in a week we won't be talking about White Lotus. Not to say it's bad, but it just doesn't, doesn't matter.
You kept telling me how good Invincible was. I wasn't hearing it from anywhere else but you. And then I was like, I watched it. I'm like, oh, this is really good. Everywhere I go, it's like White Lotus, White Lotus, White Lotus, White Lotus, White Lotus. Like
who? The Pod Save America bros. Who else? Who else listens to watches White Lotus that much?
Lorenzo told me White Lotus is really good. Some of my coworkers told me White Lotus is really good. I think being on HBO is a big difference too.
Yeah, I
think
that's possible.
HBO.
Also, I'm not saying, I don't know. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes says Invincible's better, but that's just Rotten Tomatoes for you, That's just me. I don't know. I hear the finale wasn't that great. That's what I heard.
Really? I heard the finale was great.
I don't know who to believe.
Who do you believe, DJ? What are we talking about right now?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask what we're talking about next week.
What are we talking about?
Let's talk about that.
Week?
Let's talk about what we're talking about next week.
Wait, do we have any more Free Guy stuff?
Nah, I loved it. I really loved it.
I think it was pretty good.
I think it's okay, but all of it's like more. I don't think it adequately explores any of the ideas it brings up. But as just a piece of entertainment, it's charming and funny.
I don't think I enjoyed a movie more in 2021 for real.
What about the Suicide Squad? No,
different. Free Guy just gave me a lot of feel goods that I really enjoyed. I laughed so much. Suicide Squad I just like enjoyed very much for like what it was, but I really enjoyed Free Guy. It's hard for me to compare them. It's very apples oranges between those two movies. But
how about the part where what's his name took an axe and was like, "Where's the beach located on this server bank?" and then started chopping at the server bank or whatever.
Oh man, that was
wild.
He was my breakout performance, and like that's like not a hot take. Like Taika Waititi's a treasure, but I think the fact that they got him for this movie like really helped. Like if you put anyone else in that role, I don't think it works. Like who's a broy, like you think of like a broy actor, like who just like I don't know wouldn't get it. Like oh yeah, this character's I get like I don't know.
I mean,
like
there's probably a lot of them in like White Lotus, right? We got one of those guys.
Who played this character in Ready Player One?
Yeah. Oh, what's his name? Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah, he would have been awful.
Yeah, I like Taika Waititi.
I was surprised to see Taika Waititi because he doesn't typically do just like acting. Usually he just shows like cameos in stuff that he has made.
Yeah.
Did he make Jojo Rabbit or?
Yes, he made it.
Okay, my bad. I didn't know. I didn't see it 219 times.
Unlike Free Guy, which you clearly remember so well.
Yeah,
219 times, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, DJ, real quick. Can you name me tell me the name of the other programmer guy who hangs out with keys? I've even said it on this podcast.
Yeah, you said it.
Yeah, so tell me what it is.
Austin?
No. You got two more
Henry?
guesses. Nope.
Why do I only get 3 guesses? What is that?
Well, you watched it 219 times, so you shouldn't even need 3 guesses.
Yeah.
Keys?
That's the name of the guy that I said when I asked the question. I thought maybe
it was also Keys.
There were a lot of Keys in there, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mouser.
DJ, remember? You know what
Mouser.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the guy from The Matrix.
Do you remember the name of the company?
Oh, yeah. Tsunami, but spell S-O-O Tsunami.
That's right.
This is cool.
There you go, DJ. You watched it 200 million times.
I did. I saw it like Tsunami.
Yeah, I like
you guys.
Movie.
Yeah, good. It's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
Movie.
It was fun. I will say, I totally could have watched this movie at home. Being in the theater didn't really add much. I had a good crowd. Yeah, everyone was into it too. Like everyone was like really into the movie. The lights didn't come on early. It's very good. Very good movie theater experience.
I would have liked to see this again at home just to look at it more. Like to be like, oh, look, that's a reference to this, Like, so I feel like I could have watched it at home, like in a theater, and then gone home and, like been like, oh, that's a Fortnite reference or whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. So what are we
Good
doing
stuff.
next week?
What are we doing next week? We didn't decide.
We can do that Reminiscence movie. It's on HBO Max.
Well, not
true.
but it looks
I mean, you can all get it. But,
I've heard it's one of the worst movies of the year, so
yeah.
then we have to do it.
That might make it good,
right?
yeah.
We have to do it. Those are our best podcasts. We've had a stretch of 2 weeks now where we did movies that are like pretty good.
movies that we all at least kind of liked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. And then the next one after that is Shang-Chi, which, if Rotten Tomatoes
yeah.
or anything to go by, won't be a
It's gonna
huge
amazing.
disaster. Yeah.
Yeah. So do we do Reminiscence to be like, okay.
Yeah, like a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, hold on,
if
guys.
it's-
First, we have to entertain the possibility of doing Spy Kids 3D, and then decide to do something else.
Well,
Yeah,
do we
we
do a poll? We were doing that thing where we do a poll, but the everyone who listening knows that it's the last place getter wins.
Spy Kids 3D would have been good before this, too, because it's a video game.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, it would have been perfect.
So yeah, what do you guys think? Do you want to do a poll?
Well, there's that
The last
Jason
place-
Momoa Netflix movie that's supposed to be really bad.
Yeah, that doesn't
We
look
have a
like
lot
that.
of options for bad movies.
Yeah. I have so little opinion. My mind is so Shang-Chi'd.
I think we do a poll.
I mean, we could do the...
poll.
When does the
Nando's been
Candyman movie
Shang-Chi
come out?
pilled.
Is that this week?
Which
That's
movie?
Friday, yeah. That's this week.
Candyman? I mean, I probably won't see it, but...
Oh, that's too spoopy for me. I can't do Candyman.
I'm going to
And
watch
it's
it
not
by
like-
myself at night.
Yeah.
But like, it was like what?
What about Paw Patrol?
Get out of here.
Just start fresh with the movie. I'm assuming none of us have seen any Paw Patrol media.
No.
I don't know what their deal is besides just their dogs and one's a cop. But that seems
all
Blue
awful.
Lives
cops?
Matter.
Isn't that why they're the patrol?
I think one of them's like a firefighter. So I think most of them are like helpful. Like
Yeah,
one of them's like
they're
a
all, I think they
construction
all
dog.
do different kinds of patrol.
Yeah, but there is one that is fully a cop, like dressed cop hat, cop outfit.
Yeah.
Um,
And a lot of Blue Lives Matter, like it's
Yeah.
used to meme for Blue Lives Matter.
I've heard
I
the
don't know.
Paw Patrol movie is surprisingly fascist.
Oh,
oh man,
I think we do. I think we do a poll.
I think we do a
That'd be-
poll.
All right. So and the last place getter gets it. Is that
That's
what,
right.
Listeners, vote for what you don't want us to
But we're
do.
going to put the
Yes.
poll up tonight, and we're not going to explain that. You only know that
We're
if you
explaining it on
listen
the
to the
pod now.
podcast. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
the
yeah.
pod goes up not tonight.
No, yeah,
Oh, I see what you're saying. So you want the poll to go up basically once we stop recording.
Yeah.
yeah.
What?
And you'll learn afterwards that you voted
that
wrong,
you voted wrong.
and then you'll have to like recruit 2 friends to offset your vote, and then vote for the thing you want or something.
Exactly.
So what are the options? We got Reminiscence. We got the bad Jason Momoa Netflix movie. What else? Spy Kids 3D, obviously. Yeah. What else?
Is there anything that's like can be considered a prequel to Shang-Chi, like Iron Man 3 or something? The one with the fake Mandarin,
because
Are
we,
there-
we
or
did
like-
Iron
well,
Man.
hold on.
We did Iron Man 2 for Black Widow, so we'll do Iron Man 3. I think that's perfect.
we didn't do Iron Man 2 is the thing.
yeah, we did.
No, like it was a poll choice.
What
It was
about like
it
a cool karate movie or something? We gotta have
Yeah,
one of
that's
those.
what I was going to say. Oh, what's that one that you like, Nando, that is bad?
Speed Racer.
No,
Which one?
The one...
Man with the Iron
one-
Fists.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Okay, all right. We'll put that. Do you just want to do that?
The Man with the Iron Fist is pretty fun. It's got Bautista. He's big old brass body.
I'm too committed to the poll now.
Okay, that's fine.
Unless
do the
you really
poll.
want to do Man with the Iron Fist.
No, because actually I think Man with the Iron Fist will fare pretty poorly in the poll, so that will
So
mean it wins.
we'll get to do it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm willing to give it my to throw it into the Lions den and see how it
All right,
comes out.
so we got, and I can't put it first because you put it first, it gets a lot of votes automatically.
Do it,
So
yeah,
we'll
do it alphabetically.
All right, so it's Spy Kids 3D.
I don't think it is.
No, I'm saying I'll put
Oh,
it
if you
in
just pick
alphabetical
one,
order,
yeah.
Man with the Iron Fists.
Reminiscence, Jason Momoa movie.
And bad Jason. Okay,
The
all
Jason
right.
Momoa movie looks so boring, though. I hope they don't pick that.
What's it called? Like
That could
Sweet
get
Thing?
well. We have to go with gets the least votes, right? That's the
Yeah.
goal.
I hope they don't accidentally pick it by not picking it. That's what I mean.
Yeah, the
Sweet
Man with the
Girl.
Iron Fist stance could.
Yeah.
I gotta
Well,
look up this Jason
I guess
Momoa.
gotta hope that the Man with the Iron Fist does not get picked because people don't know what it is.
All right, it's called Sweet Girl.
Yeah.
Oh my god, why
It's
is
so dumb. I mean,
Oh,
it
man.
might be good. Who knows?
alphabetically, Man with the Iron Fist is first.
Is it Man or The Man?
Ooh, I think it's just Man.
Ah, damn it.
No, it's The Man with the Iron Fist. Yeah.
So, Sweet Girl...
Reminiscence is first.
Oh, Reminiscence.
Then Sweet Girl, Spy Kids 3D, then The Man with the Iron Fists.
Oh, now it's 4th.
They're just trying to weight the poll so heavily.
I'm trying to play against yeah.
We can just do that movie.
No, DJ. We already threw the poll out there. I mean, we could also put White Lotus in there. I'll watch the whole White Lotus show.
All of it.
Yeah.
I think a poll. I think you only do 4 options on a...
I do. You know what? I'd put that in instead of the Jason Momoa one, because that one probably isn't anything.
All right, so instead of Sweet Girl, do White Lotus.
They'll do White Lotus, yeah.
Sure.
The White Lotus?
Or whatever, yeah.
I think it is, because it's named after a hotel, right?
Yeah,
That's
the White
true.
Lotus.
Yeah.
That's why it wasn't coming up in my Google.
I bet if
I did it with...
No, I
tried
tried
White
that.
Lotus.
I actually tried that in the background, and it doesn't.
All right, so it's Reminiscence, Spy Kids 3D, The Man with the Iron Fist, The White Lotus. All right.
Yeah. All right. Do you guys have anything to recommend to the fine people?
I do.
Let's do it.
All right. Ooh. So my thing now apparently is I watch not weird, but just like different sports documentaries. I guess that was always my thing, but now I'm just doing it a lot. So I told like the Untold Mouse in the Palace documentary. So it's a 5-part series, but it's not. They're like 5 separate documentaries because I go... Like, when you watch something for Netflix and the next episode's supposed to come up, it's just supposed to give it to you. But I had to search for it because it was under a different name. So all 5 Untold documentaries are, like, different things. So 5 Free Rex chicken, because I'm not going to wreck the Caitlyn Jenner one. But
are they all out?
No, they're not.
Oh, okay.
Like, that's what I'm saying, though. Like the way they're doing it is, it's not like 5 episodes, season 1. It's like 5 separate movies.
I see.
So I watched the Untold Deal with the Devil way better than Malice in the Palace. And maybe because I didn't know about this story, but it's about this woman named Christy Martin. And she was like the best female boxer like ever. She's like in the 90s and like early 2000s. She was like the craziest, like just best women's boxer. She like basically put women's boxing on the map. And she was married to her trainer who was like abusive towards her and eventually tried to kill her.
Oh.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. It's hard to not compare it to the Mouse in the Palace because it's like Untold, Mouse in the Palace, Untold, Deal with the Devil.
Right.
And so like, but just comparing those two because they're in the same like whatever series or title, I thought it was so much better than Mouse in the Palace. And maybe because I didn't know this story, but I guess because it was just telling like one story about this person's career, it felt more documentary. Whereas like Mouse in the Palace was all over the place because it wasn't just about the fight; it was about like Reggie Miller and like Meta World Peace / Ron Artest. Like it did a lot of different things, and like it did it well. But just I like this streamlined of the deal with the devil thing. And I also thought I learned something. I didn't learn much with the Mouse in the Palace one, but I still like them both. But I just thought the deal with the devil one was so much better. So that I would absolutely recommend. I might wreck all of these except for the Caitlyn Jenner one because there's another one on like a minor league hockey team that was owned by like the mafia. So pretty excited for that one too. And then there's another one about former tennis player Marty Fish who like in like I think it was like 2012 he was like about to play in a tennis match against Roger Federer and just said nope and retired from the sport forever because he had like a mental breakdown. So we'll see. So I want to recommend that. And then another thing I want to recommend is Secret Base, SB Nation's YouTube channel, which I've talked about before. They're doing like another deep dive. So they do things called like the complete history of, and they did one on the Seattle Mariners. They did like a whole history on the Seattle Mariners. They usually pick teams that are historically bad because this isn't that fun. And they're starting a series, the complete history of the Atlanta Falcons. And it's crazy how the Falcons have been bad forever.
Yeah.
And, like, they've always been bad. And they open it with talking about, like, they frame it so well. It's like, it was, like, 2017 Super Bowl. We were all, like, really depressed because, like, Donald Trump was just inaugurated. And not all of us, but, like, a lot of us. So, like, and it was just, like, we needed hope. And, like, the Atlanta Falcons were our hope. And they were up 28-3, and that was the big thing they lost. But they talk about, and I talked about this a little bit on my Extra Life stream. They were at one point up to 28-9, And, like, that was, like, the real breaking point because they had the ball at the Patriots' 40-yard line and there were only 18 minutes of game clock left. Like, this is a winnable game in every single scenario, and they blew that. So, because Patriots, like, they were up 28-3, but it took, like, 10 minutes for the Patriots to get a single touchdown, and they missed the extra point to only get 6 points. So, it was, like, felt like a complete debacle by the Patriots. So, like, 28-9 was, like, the real, like, oh, my God, we got this, and then they didn't. So, yeah. This series is ongoing. They're releasing like one a week. I don't know how many parts because they're only up to the 80s and it's already been like 2 hours or an hour and a half, I guess. But they're really good. They do really, really good deep dives. So yeah, sports documentaries, they're great. So those are my two recs.
Very good. All right. Diggins, what about you? Do you have anything to recommend to the fine people?
I do. I have a bounty of recs, a powerful
Oh my
3.
gosh.
It's been so long since you recorded.
Yeah, I've just been experiencing so many things. I'm going to go through them quick, though, so as to not take up our listeners' valuable time. First of all, I've been watching a new show by Antoine and another person whose name I definitely know because it's Sterling Harjo. It's a show called Reservation Dogs. It's about a group of 4 teens on a Native American reservation in Oklahoma who do a bunch of petty thefts to save up enough money to try and move to California, basically just trying to escape from the reservation because they don't like it there, especially because the 5th member of their group died the previous year. And but it's a surprisingly funny and affecting kind of coming of age sort of thing about these teens in this environment, which is aided by the specificity of the Native American experience, which myself and I'm sure many other people who listen to this podcast are not very familiar with. I've been really enjoying it so far. There are 3 episodes out right now. A 4th one came out tonight, actually, which I obviously haven't watched yet because I've been recording this podcast instead. But that's been really funny, and you should definitely check it out. I've wrecked this before, but I have finished... Please come with me. I'm going to usher you into my little corner here. What's that? That's right. It's my 90s anime corner.
Oh.
First, I've ranked it before, but I just recently finished the series. Revolutionary Girl Utena is an anime from the 90s that's kind of like a magical girl type, like your Sailor Moons, where it's about this girl who does duels with other members of her high school for the right to revolutionize the world. What does that mean? Don't worry about it. It's very kind of abstract and symbolic, especially as it goes on later on. But it's surprising, but it's also like very good. It's there's a fair bit of humor to it, but it's a surprisingly deep in its themes on like gender and sexuality, especially for something made in the 90s. I was kind of surprised by that. And it's also like fairly deconstructive of gender norms, and then also the ways those can place expectations on us, and then how those false expectations can lead people awry. And about a bunch of other different things, too. It's a very, very thematically dense work, but it's also extremely watchable, and I had a great time with it, so I recommend that. Similarly, I have previously watched, and I think maybe even recommended, Neon Genesis Evangelion, the 90s anime.
Yes, I believe that's right.
The famously bleak and depressing 90s anime. Well, over the past, 15 years... they've been doing kind of remake movies of that series. The 4th one only just came out, and the 4th and final one, I should say, because it is now finished. It starts, like the first couple movies start as being just kind of updated, pared down, and streamlined retellings of the anime. But as it goes on, they start diverging more and more to the last two movies are basically entirely new content, just kind of loosely based on the ending of the anime. And I like, now that I've seen them all, because they're all finally out, I like a lot what they've done with it. They kind of takes the ideas and themes of the original anime and puts it in these new contexts and this new form that kind of reinforces everything it was saying before, but also makes it a little more hopeful, a little bit less depressing, but also like deepens and enriches it in ways that I really enjoyed. It also famously, the anime suffered from budgetary problems, and they kind of had to take a lot of shortcuts. They threw money at these movies because Evangelion became super popular, so they look gorgeous in a way that the series, while it was distinct in its designs and looked good, well, it just didn't have the money to look as beautiful as these movies do. So those are my recs. Like I said, just kind of going through them quickly. It's been a long week and a half since we recorded, and I've done some stuff, and that's what they are, and I recommend them. Nando,
Nice.
Yeah.
what do you got?
I got stuff. Do I sound okay, by the way? Is my voice coming in normal? Okay.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
good.
All right, cool. I got stuff. Let's see. What did I watch this week? Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's funny. That's all I got.
is.
I don't know. What else did I watch this week? I feel like I watched this.
What about drive-ins? You can talk about how drive-ins are great.
Drive-in's still great. I mean, I feel like the thing with drive-ins is the experience is wildly different drive-in to drive-in. So, I would say give your drive-in a shot. It might not be the greatest theater experience ever, but it might be a nice little treat. And also, you don't have to sit next to people to cough or whatever. So that's also great. I guess I will recommend... Let's see. I will recommend some books that I'm reading. Comic books, obviously. But pieces of paper with words on them. Although I'm reading both of them on the app DC Infinite, because one of them, it is borderline impossible to find in print, and the other one I feel like I probably have a better shot at finding in print, but I was just kind of wild hair one day, let's read this. First one, I read the first I read the first 6 issue. I read the 6-issue prequel, the 6 issues that come after that, the 5 issues that come after that of the and then 3 issues of the next run of Gail Simone's Secret Six run, which is kind of what the prototype of the modern Suicide Squad is. Which Secret Six, I don't even know what they used to be, but it was kind of rebooted as this team of supervillains or anti-heroes, but really supervillains at that point, led by Scandal Savage, Vandal Savage's daughter, and it's got Catman. He's great. Deadshot is on that team. Knockout, who is a apocalypse fighter, woman. I'm not quite sure what her deal was. Ragdoll Parademon, who is just I don't know what his deal is either. But it's good. And it's good. It's what we're doing for book club. But yeah, to read it, to get the full story, you start with Villains Unleashed or something, read those 6 issues, then a crossover episode, or crossover issue, then the first Secret Six book, so that's 1 through 6, then you read some Birds of Prey, and then you go back and read another Secret Six book that came out in a different year. So, it's so hard to keep track of. I started reading the wrong Secret Six book for 2008, I want to say, instead of 2006. I don't know how people keep track of this. Anyway, very good. Fun, silly. And Catman is a fun character. I like him. There's something to him that is interesting.
Yeah. I was saying, Catman needs to be in one of these Suicide Squad movies.
I'm not surprised. Have you ever read this book, or do you know what they've done with this version of Catman?
I read the Secret Six.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he's cool. He's an eco-terrorist, kind of. A little bit. Not quite as much as her, or as Poison Ivy, but they have reintroduced this character in a way that is very likable. So yeah. He is very fun. And then the other thing I read is Animal Man. So this is I'm in the middle of this right now by Grant Morrison. It's from the 80s. It's about this this superhero. I don't know what the story was with him. I don't know if he was invented for this or he's been around for a while. But he's just a guy who can absorb the, like, super powers adjacent, like, kind of traits of animals and near him and use them as superpowers. So if he's near a bird, he can fly. He doesn't grow wings. He can just kind of do it. And the series is him coming out of retirement and trying to kind of make a name for himself. It's pretty wild. And Grant Morrison, they're a great writer, and one of my favorites. One of those writers that you'll read anything they write. And like Animal Man as a character is kind of like, he's got almost like a Booster Gold kind of like dork who doesn't quite know where he fits in, but not as confident as Booster Gold. But from what I understand, the series gets very existential and weird, speaking of Free Guy. So I'm excited for that. I haven't quite seen that yet, but we did get introduced to a character named Buona Beast, who is someone that I recognize from, like, the Justice League cartoon, who's just this weird, like, white, super ripped guy with a mask on who has a loincloth, and, like, he's a very silly character. But yeah, so I'm enjoying both of those. Otherwise, I'm reading a bazillion comics. They're all great. The X-Men stuff's great. Trial of Magneto, that's fun. I don't know, Nightwing's good now. But yeah, there's, like, I feel like I'm watching some shows, but not a ton. I finished F-Boy Island. I don't want to spoil it for DJ. But
I gotta finish it. I'm going to.
I absolutely hated the ending. Yes. Hated. Worst ending in the history of any game show like this. I would have to imagine. Oh. I imagine
the circle. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, no. I imagine you will share my same opinion, DJ, but you may be like, wait, what's... And then you'll figure it out. It sucks.
Okay.
So you
Circle
recommend
Season
it?
3 is coming back soon.
Yeah, I recommend never watching it. No one should watch it. There will not be a second season. There cannot be. Not there cannot be, but there should not be. It would be bad. Circle Season 3, I'm interested in that. I think I'll watch that.
Yeah. I love it every time.
Yeah, the second season of The Circle started slow, but then it won me. I wish it was as good as it was in the end the whole time.
Yeah, we'll see if Season 3 can improve.
Yeah, I wish they would make their release schedule, not as dumb, but it's just what they're going to do. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know what to tell me. It's just like, you just never will be able to have enough time to enjoy it. You know what I was watching? Speaking of stuff, HBO had like John Oliver. I love John Oliver. I was rewatching old, what did they call it? Patriot Act. Remember that with Hassan Minhaj?
Oh, yeah.
The show was
so
dope.
Good, so good.
Like, it was so funny. He is...
It's a shame Netflix sucks.
Yeah, it should have stayed around forever. Bill Maher still has his fucking awful show.
Yeah, right?
Why isn't that going? But, I don't know. There's no justice. And let us know what you think of White Lotus, everybody. Let me know what you think of it.
Yeah.
Is it the best show ever? Is it better than Invincible? Who would win in a fight? The main guy from Invincible or whoever the main character is from White Lotus?
I think Invincible would
Steve Zahn. Steve Zahn's a wild card,
Yeah, I don't know. Steve Zahn's crafty.
Yeah, I'm not putting anything past him. And the other one, too. What's the name of the Jennifer Coolidge? She's also hard to pin down. Maybe that's going to happen eventually, that crossover. If only they weren't on different networks. Next week, where's the poll right now?
All right,
we'll look at the poll.
I tell you this, we are not doing Spy Kids 3D next week. And it's last time Spy Kids like eked out a win, like a quote unquote win, right? Like they won by like 4 percentage points. Right now, Spy Kids 3D 62%. It's like 100 votes. Reminiscence 21.7, White Lotus 9.8, Man with the Iron Fist 6.5.
So, do you think when we put this episode out, people will be like, "Oh my God, we have to fix this"? Like start making burners. What are we doing here, people?
Toxic, who goes on Diggins' Twitch streams a lot, he said nobody vote for Spy Kids because he definitely knows what's going on.
Well, we have talked about this before and not done it.
Yes,
I think
have.
so.
Totally have, yeah.
They will know. Someone will know this and then maybe inform the others. But once this is something that is in the podcast, hopefully people change their tune and kind of figure it out.
It looks like we're going to be doing either Iron Fists or White Lotus, so we'll see.
Yeah, the thing is, like, it's going to take a lot of votes to dig out of the hole Spy Kids is in right now.
So because it's easy, it's 100 votes. It's 60 votes for Spy Kids and only like 9 for the other ones. So you're talking like crazy votes.
Well, the thing is, you not only need to get enough votes to give the low ones past Spy Kids, you have to get enough votes to get everything past Spy Kids.
Work on it, people.
Yeah, very good. I mean, you have time, maybe. We don't know when we're going to do that episode. We'll figure it out soon. Yeah. So anything to plug, anybody? DJ, start with you.
Check out Roses and Rejections. We'll be covering F-Boy Island and Bachelor in Paradise, which just started up again. So check that out wherever you get your podcast. Pop Break Network. Pop Break TV.
Cool.
Check that out.
Diggins, what about you?
Just my usuals. You got my newsletter at alittleperspective.substack.com, and I stream at twitch.tv/thisisanOddName. I started streaming XCOM recently, getting all of my followers killed by aliens. It's been fun. I'm also going to get back to Disco Elysium eventually at some point in my life.
Nice.
I forgot to mention, sorry, real quick. Thank you for everyone who watched my Saturday stream. There was no podcast between like me deciding to do it and like actually doing it because it was like very quick. But thank you to everyone who checked out me playing Avengers and getting frustrated. I love you all so much, and thanks for donating to Extra Life. And I liked playing Avengers with Nando, so maybe we'll do
that was
some
fun.
more
It's fun to play the Avengers game.
Maybe I'll do some more streaming in the future. We'll see. But yeah, thank you, everybody.
Yeah. I don't have anything to recommend. Gonna put out a new video soon. Who knows what it'll be about? It'll come out, though. Besides that, yeah, that's all I got. Besides that, listen to this podcast. Listen to old ones. I had a couple of people come out of the woodwork be like, hey, I like listen to one of your podcasts. I didn't know you made a podcast. Which baffles me, but because I say it in every video. But maybe people think it's a joke. But
And
if you
like,
I
wish you didn't have those two awful co-hosts, though.
Well, maybe, get a
here.
lot of that, and a lot of people saying Cats is funny and stuff. What do you guys say? If you had to say one, what's your favorite? Like, what are some episodes that people should listen to if this is their first episode?
Go back and listen to Doolittle. Doolittle is like a masterclass
Doolittle
for
was
our
fun.
podcasts. Like Doolittle and Cats are like, we had a run there where it would killing it.
Yeah.
But it's the movies that like drive it. Like the summer, I feel like not a lull, but it's all the blockbusters, which are like okay. But like the winter is when the trash comes out, and then like we get to go on fire. Like we talk about it like every year, like December's coming, November's coming. It's gonna be a barn burner. It happens every year.
Everyone knows the best time of the year is fuck you. It's January.
Yeah. What about you, Diggins? What would you say are the ones you recommend to people?
Oh, gosh. I mean, the ones DJ said are classics, obviously. I'm trying to think what other really good ones we've done. Money Plane is a fun one.
Oh, God.
I think their Quibi episode's really good.
Yes.
Yeah. I really like the episode where we're talking about the Most Dangerous Game movie because that movie's so bad.
Yeah,
and that is like
was a
part
really
of the
good
Quibi
one.
saga. I always say Fantastic Crimes of Grindelwald is one of my favorites, so that's in the pre-Diggins, but just like that movie is
That's why it's one of your favorites.
I think I would have loved it if you were on as well at that time. Who knows if they'll ever make a third one, but if they do, I can't imagine they'll fix this really messy franchise, so hopefully it just gets worse and worse.
Well, I mean, the trajectory of Harry Potter has only been constant improvement since that movie came out. So.
Yeah, right. It get better and better. It's the only way is up. I hope that it continues to be dumb, so we can do more of those. And then obviously, like our Star Wars ones were good. The one on the last Rise of Skywalker, whatever the hell it's called.
Artemis Fowl, I thought was really good.
I mean, Artemis Fowl was fun.
Artemis Fowl was good. So yeah,
cool.
Speed Racer, go listen to Speed Racer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the one that started the DJ doesn't watch the movies trend.
Yeah, the lies.
Those are all great ones. But now he watches them 268 times or something.
219.
There you
according
go.
to him, even though he can't remember anything about the movie.
I guess it starts to blur together eventually.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
But until next week, so listen to all those. Until next week, I am at Nando View Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye. We love you.